Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the stream. Brand new month. It is now January, February, March, April, May 1st. First time realizing what month it is for me as well. But that means that ladders have reset. We get some rewards for the ranked league. It comes with two promo rares and 3 booster packs. And then for the draft league, I think I get a promo legendary and maybe 4 booster packs. No, 3 as well, but a promo legend instead of a promo rare, and that promo legend is Roland. Okay, meh. That's pretty terrible, considering we pretty much already have that on our new quest. Let's reroll this, try to get a gold one. Gain 25 shadow influence in verse battle. Okay. So yeah, if we look at our cards, I'm pretty sure Roland, I already have, 3 of, so that's my 4th Roland. So nothing too crazy there, but still sweet to get a free legendary. If I destroy it, it's enough to create any legendary, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty much like you get any legendary for free that you would want with that. And you know what that'll also let me do, I think? Yeah, that gives me 1% of my premium set complete, because previously I had a 0% there. I checked that last night. We're unranked in draft and in ranked here, so I am excited to play a little bit more draft because it's the beginning of the season and, so many more games are going to take place till the end of the season now. I can feel free to be a little bit more casual in draft. I don't have to be super try-hard, force Combri every time, and just make sure I win. That being said, Combri is still pretty sweet. Ice Sprite, I think, is good. Marcin's Disciple is also just a really powerful card. And Amber Monument is pretty sick as well. You guys know I love, I just have this affinity for Elysian, even though I do think Combray generally fares a little bit better for me. Marcin's Disciple does a lot. Amber Monument's pretty strong. I think I'm just going to go with the Disciple. I mean, a Death Toucher beats everything. There are a lot of things like Temper that destroy a Death Toucher and Silence and stuff like that in draft, but I think I'm still going to go for it here. Oh, and you know what I'm also going to do is turn on the sound a little bit. When I play off stream, I mute the game so I don't have to deal with the sounds. Here's an Awakened student. There's also a Combri Banner, Combri Magister, Sand Warrior, Minotaur Grunt. Hopefully, we can make Combri work. Just grab as many Awakened students as possible. That would be a great way to start off this brand new season here, wouldn't you think? Flight Lieutenant is great. I feel like I can maybe turn up the sound a little bit more. Flight Lieutenant is pretty great. I like Bold Adventure, I like Zen Guardian, but Flight Lieutenant actually just wins the game sometimes the turn you play him, so he's quite fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to go with Flight Lieutenant. We can take a Hatchling and start giving ourselves outs to Combray and also the potential to splash Combray. We could take a Predator's Instinct, Elysian. Take a Predator's Instinct to potentially splash, or just because it's good in Combray. Sorry, my words are a little bit mixed up here. It's Monday. We're starting up the stream fresh, so you know how it is. But let's take Predator's Instinct and try that out a little bit more aggressively. Rakano Stranger, Zen Guardian, Silverwing Familiar is cool. Crownwatch Deserter is pretty powerful, but I'm going to take a Zen Guardian. You do have to watch your 4-drops in Combray, however, all of these cards are pretty strong, so I'm not too upset just yet. Emerald Monument is probably the pick. If we just wind up in 2 colors, we don't really need the fixing as much. It is great that the fixing's here, because the fact that all these Combray cards are here means that we're definitely doing the right thing. We're getting past Combray in the first and second pack. First and third. Third time's the charm. There we go. Third. And I think Emerald Monument's just a little bit more powerful than Combray Banner. Most of the time it'll just be a spell, but it lets you play shorter on lands. Initiative the Sands sounds good for a similar but not the exact same reason. Minotaur Ambassador might be okay if we're going to pick up a few Awakened Students here and there. I've never actually played a Minotaur Ambassador. I own 14. You know what? I think I played one in like my very first draft when I had double Pillar of Amarr. Looking back, I didn't realize just how insane that first draft was. But Minotaur Ambassador seems good. It gets you to Xenon Guardian. And it's probably a little bit more exciting than Initiative the Sands. Rampage Scheme and Daze. Not super excited for any of these. I'm going to take Rampage, though. And Renegade Valkyrie. And Refresh. Let's cut the camel. Ooh, Dawnwalker is both very good for our draft, and it will be my 4th Dawnwalker. So that is pretty sweet, skipping out on Bright Mace Paladin here. We don't actually have that much to combo along with the Dawnwalker just yet, but I'm sure we'll pick up some stuff. It's also really the only card for us in this pack. Bright Mace Paladin is fine, Stalwart Shield is fine, but neither of those are, like, too crazy good. Dawnwalker, however, is just the best card, and in our colors, and all that jazz. I could grab my 4th Umbran Reaper, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do so. I've been playing a little bit more constructed, so I'm a little bit more excited to see some sweet, sweet constructed cards. I'd like to get at least all the rares from set 1 before the next set comes out. I feel like that'll make things easier on us as far as draft is concerned. But if this is the base set and like isn't going to rotate or anything, then we're probably fine with that too. That said, other cards in the pack, Daggers just okay. Horn Verlunk would probably get cut, considering we're going to get a lot of 4-drops. So let's just rare draft here, throw it away, and be happy with that. The card is also not splashable, so don't think for a second that, like, oh, you know, it's a powerful rare, maybe we could play it. It's just not going to happen. Elysian Banner to potentially splash some things later. Cobalt Acolyte is a pretty strong splash. I'm not really too interested in playing a Minotaur Grunt. I just don't love the card. I'd sooner play like Cabal Recruiter or Cobalt Acolyte. I don't know if Seek Power or Elysian Banner is just better to pick up to facilitate a splash here, though. And I think that's the answer. I think the answer is to just take an Elysian Banner to help a potential splash in the future here. Alrighty, we have Mithril Mace, Lumen Shepherd, Find the Way. Those are probably the 3 best cards. Find the Way is kind of cool with the Awakened Students, but it's also kind of not cool. It's pretty slow. Lumen Shepherd also triggers Dawnwalker. Oh no, it doesn't. 5 or more attack? Oh, you really need to work for Dawnwalker then. Huh. Well, I mean, if you can Warcry this, maybe. That seems like it's asking a lot, though, doesn't it? Let's see. I mean, I think it's a fine card. I just don't think I'm going to wind up playing it. Let's take Mithril Mace here. Because I think if I get other big creatures, like, I'd rather play a Terrazon over that for sure. I just want creatures that can trigger Dawnwalker at the top of my curve. Vanquish is great, though. Unlock Potential is decent. Valkyrie Aspirant is decent as well. I think we can take an Unlock Potential here. What do we have? An Elysian Stranger in case we splash blue again. Okay, we'll take that. And Hatchling is the best splash. That's why I've kind of been picking up some Elysian cards here and there. Because being able to splash some Hatchlings is pretty strong. Not sure that we will. Granted. I'll rare draft. And I guess I'll take a Humbug. Alright. Lava Blood Goliath. Summon, deal Goliath's attack and damage. That's pretty terrible considering 4th Tree Elder can actually win games. I always wind up passing on these mediocre rares, but yeah, I think they're just that. I think they're just a little bit too mediocre. And 4th Tree Elder is actually a really strong card, so I'll take that. Desert Marshal's really good. What else do we have? Just a Desert Marshal. Okay. Crown Watch Longsword, Awakened Student. Sounds great. We don't have any ways currently to trigger Dawnwalker. We actually have 0. So it's just a 3 mana 4/1. But if we can pick up like one way, it's pretty good. I think Finest Hour is better than any of these other cards here. 3 mana 3/3 in Oni Ronin and Potential Splasher. I'll just take the more than playable card. Dispel's good. We already have a dude, though, an Awakened Student, so I kind of like the teleport. Alright, another Lumen Shepherd, an Elysian Banner. Yeah, I mean, how many Elysian Banners do we need just to splash these Hatchlings? Let's go for it. Sky Snapper. Twinning Ritual is probably better. Twinning Ritual also helps with Dawnwalker. Awakened Student. Bueno. Elysian Stranger's good. We're not going to play any of these. This one's animated, so I'll take it. Combray Banner sounds good over Granite Monument, because we're not going to play that. And Rakano Stranger, I'm also not going to play. Let me take a second here just to cut out some of those cards. I think we might splash blue, but I'm not totally convinced of it just yet. I've seen a few torches throughout this draft as well. This is a pretty weird pack, though. We've got a Decay, which I would like to not play. We've got a Rebuke. Then we just have some rares. I'm pretty sure I've got 4 of all of these. Yeah, for sure. I guess I will just rare draft. I mean, there's literally nothing else in this pack for us. Yeah, let's rare draft this one. And here we have the option to take a 7/7. Take some Ornamental Daggers. Yo, Kaleri, what's up, my man? Well, this card got nerfed to shit, so it's probably not worth taking any of them. But at the same time, like, I mean, I guess this card's okay. We've got Minotaur Ambassador, right? And maybe we'll play, like, Initiate of the Sands. We might have a little bit of decent amount of ramp. Destroying the Universe. Very cool, very cool. You know what? Ornamental Daggers are fine. We can play 1 Ornamental Daggers in the deck. I'm not going to play a second one, I don't think. Especially when there's 4 other really good cards in this pack. Inspire, I would play before I'd play Ornamental Daggers. Inspire also has synergy with the Dawnwalker. Ceremonial Mask is pretty good. Zenin Guardian, also pretty good. We didn't actually wind up getting that many 4-drops. We only have 2 right now. So it's not like we're flooded. At the same time, we could just take Mana Fixing. I think we're going to have enough playables, and if we want to play the Hatchling and the Twinning Ritual, Mana Fixing is going to be pretty good for us. Is that better than taking a Ceremonial Mask? I'm really not sure. I mean, we already have Mithril Mace, which is a lot worse. But being able to play those Awakened Students on turn 2 is just so strong. Here we have a removal spell, a Finest Hour, and a Healer's Cloak. All pretty strong. I think I'm going to opt for Finest Hour, just being the cheapest one. It's not as good against flyers, but just being the cheapest one, and our deck's already decently aggressive, I think, works out for us a lot. So, another Finest Hour it is. Can take an Elysian Stranger. Definitely not going to double splash a Stormcaller. Could also just take a Bright Mace Paladin here. Though I feel if I take this Elysian Stranger, I've then set myself up pretty well to splash these hatchlings. At the same time, how good are the hatchlings really? They're probably good enough. I'll take Elysian Stranger. We'll see what happens. Do I want Bold Adventure? Don't want Wild Cloud Snake. Do I want Tower Top Patrol? Tower Top Patrol seems like it might actually be the pick here. I've got a lot of 2-drops with Triple Stranger, Triple Student. So I think I'm okay on turn 2. And turn 4, I might actually want some help. Tower Top Patrol does a lot of work. Lifesteal and Aegis I'm not that excited about, but it's the rarest card in the pack, so the very least for that. I think I will splash an Ice Sprite, though. What did I just pick up? Sorry, I totally forget. I'm not going to play Refresh. Oh, Silverwing Familiar. Yeah, I'm not going to play Silverwing. I don't have any weapons to put it on, but Ice Sprite seems good. Blast seems like it might actually be fine in this deck. I'll take another one. I'm definitely not going to play 3. But we'll see how those line up here. And this is a 34-card deck. You count the 4 power and the Emerald Monument, and we're at 15.5 lands already. So that's pretty good. You have the Initiate of the Sands in there as well, so I'm willing to count this as a 16-land deck straight up. If we'd like to go up to 18, that means we're going to want to cut 2 cards here. I think it might just be cut 2 blasts and move forward with that. Let's see what else we're not playing, though, that we cut. All right, a Refresh, which is actually a fine card. Silverwing Familiar, I'm fine cutting that. I only picked up 1 blue card that entire draft. That's pretty funny. And then, of course, the Hatchling and the Ritual. Okay, yeah. We're pretty much playing everything. Because we picked up some fixing. Let's at least cut 1 blast. I think we're going to go back and cut the other one as well. The only tricky thing is, like, the Minotaur Ambassador is actually not that great. He does pump our Awakened Students twice, and he can, like, set up a Flight Lieutenant a little bit easier. Oh, we do have Emerald Monument. Oh, Emerald Monument on our Silverwing Familiar is actually quite fantastic. So let's consider that again. Maybe we cut Predator's Instinct because it doesn't do that much for us. It can kill some creatures early game, it can kill some activate creatures, but it's almost like just an Alchemial Blast that's a little bit harder to make work. Fourth Tree Elder is pretty good and also pretty insane to put the Emerald Monument on. So I like that as well. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Minotaur Ambassador. We also have nothing to go with Dawnwalker, but a 3-mana 4/1 Overwhelm, I guess that's fine. There will also be times where we trigger it by copying a Fourth Tree Elder or copying a Flight Lieutenant because those are already good cards. So every once in a while we will trigger it. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Currently this is a 17-land deck, yeah. Wait, is it? This is 16. Yeah, this is a 17-land deck if I'm willing to count both Initiate and Emerald Monument together as a land. So yeah, 17 lands we're currently looking at. I would like to add in one more, and I think cutting a 6-drop in favor of a land seems pretty reasonable. I feel like these blasts might actually be okay. I don't really know if we want 3. Deck's actually decent on removal. It's got Teleport, Vanquish, and Ice Sprite, double Finest Hour. Maybe we just cut down to a single blast. I could even say see going up to 19 lands, considering we're playing 3 colors and we've got a big card like Flight Lieutenant and all these Awakened Students, but I think this is pretty decent too. If we add in our power, it says 3 Primal Sigil. Definitely want to focus on Justice Sigils and Time Sigils to ensure we're able to play Awakened Student. I almost feel like we can do this. We're a little bit more in time. We've got Initiate. We've got some double green at the top of the curve. I think I like that, mainly because the Elysian Strangers will help us with the other requirement, and we've got the Elysian Banners as well. So I'm thinking like, we go turn 1, Justice Sigil, turn 2, Elysian Stranger, and then turn 3, we can play Awakened Student. Though I guess we'd need more than 1 land. But if we have like triple Justice Sigil, we can still play Awakened Student and pump him for turn 3. So yeah, that seems good to me. Just make that slight change to the mana base. Triple Awakened Student. Not quite the 5x Awakened Student that has been a tried and true strategy for us so far. I have 14 wins in 2 drafts that I've drafted 5 Awakened Students, so we'll see how the triple student draft goes. This hand's solid, right? Like, it's got a blast, it's got all of our sigil requirements, but I think I'm just going to ship and try to find a student here. Alright, no time mana, but time mana is still the most plentiful mana in our deck. So it's the mana that I'm the most comfortable keeping an open hand without. The lights gather. Uh-oh. We're going to take some beatdown here at the top of the game. We've got our 4 most expensive cards in the deck. So, yeah, this is kind of not great. Hopefully my opponent will play like a... No, they can't play Dawnwalker yet. I don't know. Play something we can vanquish here, not something we can't. Alright, Zinnin Destroyer, that's something we can't. Marcin's Disciple will get us back into the game when it's time. We'll create a Death Touch that they have to auto-attack into. Hopefully they put Quick Draw on this or something so that we can vanquish it. I'm going to need the mana. This isn't really a game where I can mess around. Taking 6 a turn. If my opponent can play anything else. My opponent stopped on 3 lands here, so we actually do have a small reprieve. I can Mithril Mace this, and then I'll lose the mace to the other ones. That still sounds good to me. We'll have a Vanquish when our opponent eventually plays the card that created this Wisp. Alright, 4 mana. We're going to see another card here from our opponent. Maybe we can play 4th Tree Elder, though, and that will stop some of the shit going on. Alright, well, we can vanquish the Zinnin Destroyer and blast the Knife Jack. So we're kind of doing it. We're only going to take 1 damage from our opponent this turn. That's actually pretty good. Hopefully our opponent doesn't like give both of their creatures +1/+1 at instant speed here, though. Alright, there's the 3rd color for my opponent. Staff, and I can't blast in response. The game won't let me. So we'll kill off the Wisp. And I just need to hit a mana. Any land that isn't a seat, actually, too. Alright, that'll do it. Good game, Cephas. We wouldn't have done any better if we were able to blast the other creature. That was just a little bit unfortunate. Alright, placed in silver for the start of the league. Silver 1 for the ranked league. Interesting. that it tells us that while we are in drafting. But yeah, if we take a look at our deck here, that game was pretty unlucky. We drew this, 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 and this. And then we even drew this. So we drew and this, actually. So we drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We drew 6 of our 7 most expensive cards. Emerald Monument, also arguably up there. We drew 7 of our 8 most expensive cards, and we didn't draw time mana. Let's go back to this spot here. We've got 8 sources of time. We've got, but even more with the Elysian Strangers. The Elysian Strangers give us 11 sources of time. Primal Sigils, we've got 8 sources of Primal, and then Justice Sigils, we've got 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 sources of Justice. So we still have more time sources than anything else in the deck. So I'm still feeling good about how we constructed the deck. I think we just got a little bit unlucky there in drawing our absolute most expensive cards. What do we got here? No time again. His hand's got a blast. Let's just redraw, look for student, and better mana. Alright, better mana for sure. We don't have our splash color, but we've got our double time. No student, though, and only 2 sigils on the play. It's a little bit awkward. But we've got some kill spells here to buy us some time. I thought I was on the play. Oh, we are. Our opponent just has a Wisp. Okay. Was gonna say, thought I was on the play. So I don't know if my opponent also has an Echo creature, or if they just have the Wisp. I'm not super sure how that animation works. I'm also not super sure how many cards you start the game with in when you're on the draw. I don't know if you start up a card and then you get a card when you draw for turn, or if you simply start up a card. But all I'm trying to do is play some lands and eventually turn on this Zenin Guardian. I guess I wouldn't mind a student, but I'd really just like to play a sigil every turn for a while now, and I think I'd be okay. I think if I hit 6 more sigils in a row here, I think I'd probably be okay this game.
We shall find the way.
Right, that's going to stop the Wisp from attacking, so it's not bad, and it's almost like drawing a student. Except it won't get bigger. But it means I don't have to draw blue mana anymore. Or blue influence. Alright, my opponent's going to find the way, and they'll have all their colors and hit all their land drops. Can use Finest Hour to kill Bold Adventure. Could also use Unlock Potential to do it up. Looks like my opponent's just not going to attack regardless. They want to play defensively. Sounds good to me. So basically the reason my opponent didn't attack there, they want to be able to block my Elysian Stranger, and they didn't feel like trading 2 damage for 2 damage was worth it for them. Alright, my opponent's got all the mana though. With this and the Sauropod, that's not going to let them play the guy, most likely. Or, not even most likely. It's not going to let them play their Lumen Defender for sure. I don't know what the card's called. Lumen Wispmaker. Oh, that's pretty good, though. And now it is going to let them play it because it got +2/+2. Yeah, I'll have to trade off here.
Think you can escape me?
I'm going to go for a double block. You trade 1 for 1 when you do this, so... Oh, I should have silenced this. That was my fault. So now I can't block the Wisp anymore, but I can still trade 1 for 1 with either of these things. I don't have the land to play this. Alrighty. I am running 18 lands, right? Wowie, Towering Terrazon. I do have a Vanquish, so it's not a huge deal, but it is a little scary. Just this, not bringing in the Sauropod? Alright, he will. I think, yeah. I didn't think he was going to. I'll say no blocks. If this just keeps the Sauropod back, it's fine. Time Sigil, okay. So now we can start getting out there a little bit more. I kind of want to Ice Sprite the smaller one in case my opponent can free themselves from the Ice Sprite eventually. So I kind of just want to Vanquish here, even though it's less on curve. We're also not that far behind now. I've got 2 removal spells in my hand, plus a Finest Hour. Shit. Alright, well that needs to be vanquished quite clearly, and I can't do it. I guess that was a good argument for hanging on to the Vanquish. Okay, yeah, also if I had Ice Sprited, I would have been able to play a 4-mana card this turn. Alright, we'll do this. Not even sure what I can do because they gave me that for free. This is still obviously very not good. The Disciple will at least keep this from attacking.
Which would you like?
But I'm still going to take 5. I'm going to have to chump block the 5/5 on my next turn here. And then I'll take 3 from the other attackers. Wow, okay, they're going to give it to me. But that's a pretty small consolation. I don't actually take 3, I only take 2. Pretty small consolation prize here. My opponent only got one free 5/5 out of it, so effectively only got 1. This will block the Tower Top Patrol forever, so now all I have to do is deal with this and this. You know what? We're kind of doing it here. So what do I need to do? I think I need to teleport something this turn. If I teleport the 5/5, it's going to be a decent tempo play, and maybe that'll just let me develop Elysian Stranger, and then next turn I can try to change the battle with some Finest Hours.
We shall find.
Alright. My opponent also has a Lumen guy that they didn't play. They've got the guy that makes a Wisp. They just straight up didn't cast it. And it's a 6/8. And they're just playing around Harsh Rule because they think I could have anything at this point. They can only play one of their 2 big monsters here. Oh, Friendly Wisp. That's why they were hanging on to it. Well, that doesn't make any sense either. So here I've got a Finest Hour here. And then I need to play Zenin Guardian. Alright, so I'm going to go Zenin Guardian, Finest Hour, the Zenin Guardian. I'm going to chump block the Ageless Mentor. And then I'm going to eat the Wisp. Alright, so we eat here. Could also just chump block here and eat this here. That means I wouldn't have to use my Finest Hour. However, I kind of want to use my Finest Hour. I think it's good mana efficiency. because I'm probably going to have to use it again next turn. Ice Break can continue to block Tower Top Patrol. My opponent's got 6 cards in their hand. I mean, I'm dead, right? But we can try to hang on here for a second. Alright, I'm going to have to blast one of those and then block the other one while using Unlock Potential. We've certainly lost here. Wait, what if we do that? Okay, if we unlock Potential and then swing, maybe my opponent will go for some kind of weird double block? No, they won't. I should still unlock Potential before attacking, though. Oh, that was dumb. So now I have to Finest Hour, and then I lose. Alright, we lose a little bit of draft juice there. We really didn't go down by that much. And we are 0-2 to start things off here. Not great. Should I add more time influence to my deck? I mean, let's go back and look at the deck one more time. I'm pretty sure it's fine, right? 10 plus 8. Yeah, it's straight up 18 lands plus an Initiate Ascends. I think this is as good as we can make it. Maybe I should just be playing 19? Cut Minotaur Ambassador. Play another Time Sigil. I mean, I don't want to lose a 3rd game in a row to just not drawing the mana I need. That's a pretty shitty way to start off the season. Do have about 8,000 more gold, you might notice. Just did a bunch of ranked climbing. I streamed last night. I'm probably not going to put it on YouTube or anything because it was just a muted stream. I normally don't upload those unless it was like an accidentally muted stream for the start of it, which it sometimes is. His hand's got Hatchling. And Hatchling on the play is pretty solid. Let's redraw, though. We've got 3 Awakened students. Let's just find them. Come on, where's my students? We still did draw our Hatchling and the mana to cast it, though, so that's pretty lucky. I'm not going to complain. And we got better mana for it, too. We still got to keep, like, Mithril Mace. Yeah, okay, that's pretty solid.
Meet my axe.
Put it on green-black. My opponent's going to get a decent amount of War Cries in until I figure out what the hell I want to do against this. I might just try to double block it with the Tower Top Patrol Hatchling. Clearly not blocking there. But I think that would sway my opponent off of attacking. They'd be trading a Minotaur Grunt for a Hatchling in that scenario. Oh no, Life Drinker. I could just Finest Hour to kill it. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's just use Finest Hour to kill it. It's just annoying. I don't want my opponent to have too many Warcry triggers here. They can't, like, annihilate in response. Oh, they can Rapid Shot? Okay. Well, now we're going to go Tower Top Patrol plus Blast it. We will eventually kill this thing. Don't worry, guys. Oh, actually, we can just get it with the Mithril Mace now next turn. But my opponent's now Warcried, what, 4 times? 3 times? Yeah, 3 times, so... I'll block, I don't care. if they use another quick shot or something. But yeah, it's mainly just annoying how many times they have they've Warcried. Let's keep back our Tower Top Patrol. They can use a kill spell on the Tower Top Patrol and then steal a pretty sick card from our deck. 410. That's a big monster. We can teleport that. Alright, I am going to chump block here. I don't want them to get a free creature from my deck. And we have the teleport for it on the next turn. So we're doing okay. If we teleport it now, we can smack for 3. Seems worthwhile. My opponent clearly has a lot of pump spells and stuff, but being able to smack for 3 is probably worth them putting, like, the chance that they're going to put another pump spell on it, pretty unlikely. Alright, and they're going to seek power. I'll let that happen. If I draw a land, I will just play the Flight Lieutenant. If I don't, I'm going to blast and mace this. Alright, well, I drew a land, but I am still going to blast and mace this. I'm pretty sure that doesn't trigger Infiltrate, right? Okay. That would be really terrible if it did. Next turn, I get to play Flight Lieutenant, and then I got a big monster. I got a reasonable weapon. Think we're doing okay. Yeah, my opponent would need an ambush creature to stop us here. I'm just going to play the most expensive card in my hand. That'll let me play Elysian Stranger plus whatever I draw next turn, so pretty reasonable. It's awkward to play your, like, your target of removal spells first.
The throne must be destroyed.
Okay. Wow, okay.
We shall find a way.
That was pretty unlucky, top deck, because a quick drawing 5-4 was definitely good against our board. Alright, Vanquish on the, what's it called? Flight Lieutenant? Yes. Have our opponent on a 3-turn clock here, though, thanks to that aggressive teleport play. I'm going to keep the time sigil for our students. And we put our opponent down to 4 here. And then next turn we'll have lethals. Are they debating, like, blasting this? I'm not sure. Do we have lethal now? 5 plus 3? Not quite. There's a chance I could have just done it. That would have meant the mace was lethal on the following turn. And itself was lethal. Alright. Wings are good. Echo Daggers also pretty good. Alright, we don't have lethal here, but we can pretty much kill my opponent. We Finest Hour to clear their Beetle. And now we've got a 4-4 and a weapon. They're going to have to play a pretty beefy monster to survive here. Good game, my friend. I've definitely played against 30-1 before. Alright, we're clawing back in there. Maybe this deck isn't total garbage. I really don't think it is. I think the deck's actually fine. I think we've yet to draw an Awakened Student. Oh, we're already friends. Cute. Alright, so let's lead with Elysian Banner, and then we can play turn 2 Student. If I see a Primal Mana... Alright, Fire Mana, I think I'm safe. But I kind of don't want to block with my Student. Okay, so maybe I will go Elysian Stranger here. Just really don't want to block with Awakened Student and leave him the potential to get killed. This way I can play him with Finest Hour backup,
Mind over body.
which is pretty sweet. I'll smack. Now my opponent knows I have Finest Hour because I stopped in the middle there. I will block if they quick draw. It'll have 5, and then I'll Finest Hour to save. It should be good enough. Alright, Rampage we can deal with. That's also their entire turn's worth of mana. And now I just don't have to deal with Rampage anymore. We traded Rampage for Finest Hour, and I got a little bit of value on top of that. Kind of want to block Oni Ronin, but I also kind of want to just smash for 6, so I'm just going to smash.
We shall find the way.
I'll trade Oni Ronin for Elysian Stranger. I think that's worth 4 points of damage on my opponent.
On my signal.
Alright, it's going to get exhausted anyways. That's still pretty good. My opponent's going to keep back their Grenadin to try to double block this guy, I guess is the idea at this point. Let's just play a land and smack him. I think we are the aggressor here, especially by drawing a lifelink creature. Alright, my opponent's going to take it all, go down to 8. Like, it's 8 to 22. Excuse me. I could trade this thing for Oni Ronin. I think I will. Don't want them to have too many Warcry triggers. Ooh, that's really good. Alright, that'll stop me for a second here. We're going to have a little bit of a longer game then. Let's pump our guy, yes or no?
Which would you like?
You know what? Let's get a Locust instead. I changed my mind. You know what? If they block this here, that's actually not that bad. What if they go chump, or eat, chump, take 2, go to 6? Sure. I think they might. Yeah. Yeah, I like this play from them. But here we put them down to 6. That means we have them on a 3-turn clock. This guy can't attack. This guy can't attack. So we're kind of doing it. Pretty sure I snap off that block. The problem with blocking is that, like, I can just attack back for more damage than they're dealing me. Yeah, that's better. No blocks. I'll go to 17 here. We're giving them Warcry triggers, so that's kind of scary. They do have the Obliterate, and they're going to obliterate the Flyer. That means here they have to chump block Awakened Student and take 4 and go down to 2, though. They just have to. So we trade these off, put them down to 2, and now I have 2 lethal attackers. They have 1 blocker. They've got 3 cards in hand, so they're going to have a way to deal with the board here.
Choose your side.
Alright, they can attack, and now we're just going to start pumping up another student. They've got another turn. Like, if I ever hit and they miss, we just win the game on the spot.
A small.
And with this Acolyte shrinking the student back down. No, they're going to try to finish off this guy with a temper of some sort. Block here, block here. Okay, I see what they did. Now this is not a lethal attacker. So it makes me more inclined to make some blocks. I am just going to trade off now. I think a little bit more has to happen before we could just win this game. Desert Marshal definitely could try to do it here. So my opponent can like attack with Rebel Sharpshooter because I only have one lethal attack back. I'm going to take 6. I think I'm comfortable going to 13. There's ways that we die though. We could die to like Quick Shot plus Torch. My opponent definitely doesn't have Torch though. Alright, they don't have any spells. They've got a Sigil. If they don't play anything, I'm going to play Desert Marshal. Smuggler's Stash. That is almost akin to not playing anything, except my opponent is surely going to get back the Grenadin Drones here. Steward of the Past, Grenadin Drone. Flood the board with drones. Okay. So this guy's lethal. So if they draw a land, they won't be able to kill the Awakened Student. I'll be able to hit them for 1.
Think you can escape me?
I should have silenced the quick draw. Just wasn't paying attention. So now if I attack all out, they have to block this guy. They can double block this, take this, go down to 1. They're going to just play another guy on their turn. I think I'd rather just wait and try to activate Zenning Guardian. Opponent might have me at this point. I think I threw away my flyer just a little bit too early. I liked the damage I was getting in, didn't want to keep my opponent with an Oni Ronin,
A
but
small incision.
yeah, I'm curious if I'd played this game a little bit slower if we could have made something happen. Alright, I'll go to 1. Means all these are lethal. That was probably wrong. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. I should have chump blocked. Yeah, it was bad. Now they're just going to chump block with the Grenadin Drone and eat my 4/4. Alright, that was horrible. I played that really shitty. But, you know what? Maybe I just wanted to get out of here and draft again. It's funny, you like don't move at all, I guess, at the beginning of the season because everybody's got the same matchmaking. Or maybe you just have some leeway against your losses at the start. Alright, I got 2 gold chests, so it's almost like I went 3-3. Even though it doesn't really feel like I deserved it. Yeah, let's try that shit again. That was pretty horrible. What can we do here? Infernus? Don't love that. I'd much rather take a Rakano Outlaw. There's also an Aspirant and a Terrazon and a Field Captain, but Rakano Outlaw is pretty sweet. What else do we get here? Windshaper. And then some cards that pull me towards Combray again. Alright, I'll take Amber Acolyte. And then Rakano Outlaw or Skycrag Wyvark. Well, blue-red Time, Primal, and Fire isn't really a deck. Naya is. But Jeskai isn't really. Though maybe you can make it work with Amber Acolyte. I mean, Skycrag Wyvark's better than Rakano Outlaw, right? Alright, I'll take the Wyvark. We'll see what happens. I'm curious about Unstable Form. I feel like this card might actually just be okay. Don't really care about taking Grenadin or Guerrilla Fighter either. Let's take an Unstable Form, see what we can make happen with that. I think it might be an okay card. Scaly Gruon, Levitate, Tower Top Patrol. Let's take a Gruon. I think we're pretty much going to be trying to play Alyssey in this draft. And And I'll take some daggers, I suppose. All of these cards are bad. I guess I'll take Backlash. Tundra Explorer is sweet, though. Scaly Goron's also fine, but this is a 3-mana 3-3. It's also kind of a 3-mana 3-3. Alright, Teleport's good. Synchronized Strike I don't want to play. And Horn Verlunk's fine. Bloodright Callus I'm not going to play, but it would be my first one. Probably don't need it. Tundra Explorer. I mean, it's just a solid card, right? Looks like I'm not going to have enough spells to back it up, at least not yet. Execute's also really good. I'll just take a Tundra Explorer. Plague's really good, though, but Psionic Savant actually is pretty strong, so don't mind taking that. Ephemeral Wisp. Northwind Herald's no good. And then Predator's Instinct. Well, Predator's Instinct I think is kind of cool with Unstable Form. It's not really great, though, is it? Alright, let's just play Ephemeral Wisp, I guess. It's like a chump blocker that you can chump with a bunch of times. Would I rather take Flight Lieutenant or Blood Beetle? Not particularly. Alright, I'll just take a Wisp. That's fine. Unlock Potential's good with Wisp. Friendly Wisp. That Wisp might be a little bit better, though we will need to pick up some Terrazons. Also Levitate. I'll just take a Friendly Wisp. We'll see if we can make anything happen with it. I think I will take a Predator's Instinct because I do want to pick up some Terrazons with this Friendly Wisp here. Take another Unlock Potential, though. This is kind of a target for Friendly Wisp. I mean, do I take it just because I might need it? Nah. This deck seems pretty mediocre so far. What do we have? Celestial Omen can tutor up like... what? Nothing, really. Yeah, Celestial Omen seems mediocre as fuck in this deck. Let's just take a kill spell, either a Static Bolt or a Storm Lynx. I'm going to go for Static Bolt. False Prince is exactly what we need, though. Yeah, False Prince triggers our Friendly Wisp. It's also just a great card. It doesn't work with Predator's Instinct or Unstable Form, but it's otherwise really good. Serpent Trainer, also really good. Stormcaller. The Cloud Snake's also good, too, in this deck. We have a lot of flyers. But, yeah, False Prince is just... that's exactly what you want. Eastwind Herald's good, but Zen Guardian, fantastic. Feeding Time's cool, but I'm going to go for the Guardian. Another Static Bolt or Splash for Twilight Raptor. Let's just pick up a Static Bolt. Don't want Secret Pages. Don't really need a Predator's Instinct, though, either. At this point, I'm pretty unlikely to splash. But we'll see what happens. We also have an Amber Acolyte, so maybe something could happen with that. Teleport seems like the best. Celestial Omen on the wheel, or a second Sand Warrior. Or just Eastwind Herald. I'll take Celestial Omen at this point. Maybe we get something crazy that we can splash in a different color. Violent Gust seems fine. I'll take Vulture and cut it. And another Infernus. Well, I don't really need that either. Let's just take another Zen Guardian. Infernus isn't really something I'm looking to splash here. Pillar of Amar. Well, Pillar of Amar isn't a card I was looking to splash, but it does give us a use for the Secret Pages because being able to ramp a little bit is pretty clutch. Pillar of Amar will also trigger our Friendly Wisp. Not that you need that at all when you play Pillar of Amar. But hey, sometimes you might be playing it with your 7th land and then you draw 2 cards, you play a land, play a 5/5. The 5/5s also trigger Friendly Wisp. Wyvark is also great. Twinning Ritual is sweet. But yeah, I am more than happy to pick that up. Amber Monument triggers our Friendly Wisp. Ice Sprite is a kill spell. What would we rather have? Secret Pages works pretty well with Amber Monument because you can play Secret Pages on 3, Monument on turn 5. It's a good card with Predator's Instinct. I think it might be the pick. Ice Sprite's pretty good though too. Let's take a Monument. We do also have a card to Omen for now, with Pillar of Amar being just the most fantastic card that it can be. I'll rare draft here, I suppose. I've got enough of both of these. Alright, let's rare draft again. I'm not going to splash anything at this point. I'll just take Seek Power. I guess Seek Power is still a mana fixer, right? Horn Verlunk, we might play that. We could play Levitate, actually. That seems fine. We could even play Refresh if we really wanted to start triggering our Tundra Explorers. Second Sight goes well with the aforementioned Tundra Explorer. Also makes the deck a little bit smaller, but you know what? I think this deck is fine. It is good with Psionic Savant. We don't have any Echo, though, right? The only Echo we have is an Ornamental Daggers that I am not totally sure we're going to play. We might, though. We might actually play it. I think we're good on playables, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That means we're looking at 34 cards here. Yeah, we can already be cutting stuff. Let's just take Elysian Banner. I think just slightly better mana is going to reward us more than another card that we could play. We might play Sand Warrior. I'm not sure. What do we not want to play? Seek Power, I guess, is just a mana fixer. We can put it in there as the 18th land. With the way the algorithm works, Seek Power also kind of increases the total power you can get in an opening hand. Which is potentially good, potentially bad, but I think mostly good. So the question is like, do I need Celestial Omen? Do I need the Secret Pages? Do I need Unlock Potentials, actually? I just want to cut like this. Where does that put us? That puts us at 15 and a half lands. It says I have a lot of 2-drops. I don't think you can have too many 2-drops, though. Especially since Friendly Wisp is just kind of hanging out pretending to be a 2-drop. The daggers seem okay. I think I'm going to cut... I don't really want to cut Tower Top Patrol with this deck. It's pretty light on flyers. Though we have Levitate as a kill spell for flyers and Violent Gust as a kill spell for flyers. Oh, and we've got the Wyvark and the Savant for the late game. Alright, let's cut Tower Top Patrol. This puts us at 16 and a half lands with a Seek Power, so 17 and a half lands. A Levitate. Secret Pages is actually really strong with Sand Warrior. You just go and get another time mana, and then you can play a free card that same turn. That's pretty cool. That gives us a pretty sweet turn 3 play, actually. Double Guardian, double Verlunk. Is that too much for? Probably not. I mean, you look at this curve here, and that's about how you want the curve to look. So what is this? This is 17 and a half lands. Levitate draws a card. I feel like these daggers are going to be good Dagger doesn't go on Wisp very well, but it goes on Eastwind Herald and Scaly Gruon quite well. Could maybe cut Averlunk. It's the only card I really see that could be cut here. Secret pages can also be done at instant speed, which is kind of neat. I'm not sure when that's ever relevant, but it's kind of cool. I think we've got enough to make Predator's Instincts works with this Amber Monument. Cutting Horn for Lunk kind of makes that a little bit awkward. Yeah, I think this is good. Let's cut over Lunk. Let's add the power in. Yeah, we want a little bit more for Sand Warrior, but we do still have some double blue, so we want a pretty even split here. This looks good to me. So let's see, is my affinity to draft Elysian better than just my win rate for Combray? Hand seems fantastic. We'll have to decide if we need to play Eastwind Herald or if it's better to just play this on turn 3. On turn 4, we'll be able to play both Zenin Guardian and Sand Warrior. So that's kind of cool, but for the start of the game, until we hit a banner, we will just keep playing these out.
Mind over body.
Yeah, I think let's go for the turn 3 Sand Warrior. It's going to give the Awakened student some awkward attacks here.
Mind over
Uh-oh. Somebody's been watching my videos, and they know Awakened student's OP. Or they just have been playing Eternal, and know Awakened student's OP. This is about the strongest thing you can possibly do in draft. Turn 1, Seek Power. Turn 2, Awaken. I guess you can go turn 1, Initiative Sands.
Safe travels, friend.
back to dust.
Alright, so we get to double block one of them here. We're trading 2 for 1 off of a double block, but
Safe
that
travels.
might stop them from attacking for a second. They can also represent Giant Growth here. I'm going to double block. Okay. No Giant Growth, but we do have to worry about this other huge Awakened student crashing in. Can't worry about it for now, obviously, but... What do we have? Do we have an Ice Sprite in the deck? I'm not sure we do. Can't really get free attacks in with this guy either, because they'll just double block it. Another student? No way. Okay. Alright, let's play Savant and start making this guy bigger. I think I will have to trade off Zenin Guardian with Awakened Student here. That's if they give that to me. Alright, they don't attack with the student. That makes sense. They shouldn't. I could double block on this student. I'm unlikely to get much better than that. I guess I can still do that next turn. And my Savant will just have... +1/+1.
We learned what we must.
Alright, they're just emptying their hand. Levitate's going to give this a +1/+1. This is a 3/3. We get to empty our hand here, actually. Okay. This is fine. They could double block with Stranger and Grunt, and I lose my 3/3 for a Grunt. That's no good. How we deal with Awakened Student, I am still not totally yet sure. But the fact that we've got a 3/3 is promising. I guess we can double block here, block here, assuming they don't play a land, and then block here, and then we take a few points of damage. Celestial Omen is pretty slow, but will translate into a +1/+1. So we have two potential blocks. We can block here, we can double block here, and then we can block here. That would lead us to taking 5. Oh, that's the most we can block then. Yeah, that's our best block. Though we can make it just slightly different and hang on to Zenin Guardian. Now we'll lose Tundra Explorer and hang on to Zenin Guardian, which I think is probably better. And we take still 5. Opponent, I think, is just debating how they need to divide this Awakened Student. If my opponent has anything, actually anything in the world, we lose the entire game. We need them to be sitting on Sigil, and that's it. Alright, Valkyrie Aspirant, we need to draw a creature, Static Bolt. That'll do something for us. So, this can crash. Obviously. We will Static Bolt the Aspirant, I imagine, and then play an Ephemeral Wisp. We'll have 4 blockers to their 4 attackers. Alright, let's go Bolt here. Wisp for a chump block. And this Wisp is going to be chump blocking a Grenadin if my opponent attacks all out, which is pretty silly. Alright, we need my opponent to have sigils from here down. My opponent's playing a 5-color deck. Somehow. Oh, no. Just a stranger. That's all it is. Seek Power is quite fantastic, too. That gives us a big Savant. So we're just going to be going Seek Power into Time Sigil. I am going to play the Time Sigil here because I want to keep open Celestial Omen mana. Don't know what I'm going to Omen for just yet. It might just be the big boy, the big guns, but we'll see. Of the choice of Pillar of Amar, Teleport, Friendly Wisp, Reinarch, could just take a land, a Static Bolt, a Frost Prince. I kind of don't hate Teleport, to be honest. I'm going to take Pillar of Amar. Pillar of Amar just ends the game if it hits. Again, my opponent can draw absolutely anything, and we lose. I think my opponent sees the writing on the wall. Whether or not they have lethal, I'm not sure. Block here, chump here, eat here, eat here. Sounds good. Alright, looks like they don't have anything. This might just be a concession. Ugh. Harsh Rule! Wow! Harsh Rule into Oni Ronin. Wow, good game, my friend. Holy shit. Oh, I'm not dead! Ephemeral Wisp. I should have held on to those cards. I thought I was dead. Oh shit, I should have held on to one of those sigils. Fuck me. Alright, well, sigils are live draws. Big creatures are live draws. Shit, I should have held on to that. This is definitely an interesting strategy to say the least. Oh, that looked like my opponent paused for a spell. Ornamental daggers. Oh, if I had the land, I could have daggered it up. Oh, man. Oh, that's brutal. Good game, my friend. Oh, that's so brutal. I could have had it. Whew. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to recover from. His hand's good, though. What a close game. His hand looks very strong, so I think it should be able to get us there as well. Do I just want a static bolt? I mean, my curve's insane. I think I do just want to bolt this here. Don't want to mess around. My opponent is probably a Stone Scar deck, just based off that. Oh no. Looks like they are a 3-color deck.
Safe travels.
Yeah, I just want to keep hitting my land drops. Tundra Explorer is a good one to play on curve too, but I think I kind of like no blocks here. It's better if my opponent has a 3-2 weapon. Still decent against this. I have to worry about blocking with this because my opponent could like exhaust it, but it's a 2-for-1. And I've got bigger cards in my hand, so bigger fish to fry, so to speak.
The ice is deep here.
I think I want to put daggers on Tundra Explorer so it can get in there. Devour on the Obsidian Golem. Draw an armor and 2 more cards. Obsidian Golem's quite fantastic when you compare it to like Crownwatch Longsword. Still get pretty good value off of an attack from this. Oh, not if they put the Obsidian armor on that. Actually, yes, still if they put the Obsidian armor on it. Means I'd have to trade the whole card just for this. I'm like kind of okay with that. Same time, could just play the Savant and get it growing here. I like that too. Alright, let's grow our Savant. There's also stuff we could do, like Wyvart could kill this. Well, Wyvart can still kill that. It's just a little bit more awkward now. Say no blocks. I think I'm just going to trade Wyvart for this. And start getting in the air. Well, it doesn't let me save Wyvart, but it does let me get in for more. It Also would potentially let me attack with the Tundra Explorer. No, I don't want to do that just yet. Let's just trade off Live Arc for now. Okay. So I'm thinking next turn I might put daggers on the... Alright, well that stops all of my ground attacks forever. My opponent can attack with this for free this turn, because I can't block it. Alright, you can do that too. Let's do here. Well, actually, if it's a quick draw, yeah, let's do here. I think they just wanted to draw a card. And draw a card they shall. Alright, free Sand Warrior. If I dagger this, it's out of Lightning Bolt range, and then I don't have to worry about Rebel Illuminator. So I like that. Outside of that, I can just dump my whole hand here. Sounds good. Yeah, let's dagger up. Smack for 4.
Back to dust.
A gift.
I'll play these and I'll just Secret Pages at the end of my opponent's turn. Putting the 7th land into play is never a problem, and even putting the 8th land into play will allow us to activate Zenning Guardian here. Is important, we can't block both of these things at the same time. That we don't want to do. Because if they shrink this and Lightning Bolt it, that would be kind of bad. So for right now, let's just do this. We trade our 3/3 for the dude. And then they get to finish off this. I think they might still just have to shrink the flyer here. They're looking at this, though. Gave him a pretty juicy target. No, they're going to shrink Zenning Guardian and finish it off with Amethyst Acolyte. Sweet. Well, I'm glad I didn't block the Torch Spawner then, or my guy would be dead. Alright, let's just run this out there. Try to draw Pillar or Celestial Omen. That's a pretty good draw, too. This can attack. Oh, you know what? All of my cards can attack here. Free spell? Not quite. Free spell would also grow my Savant, which is pretty freaking insane, too. Alrighty. And an explosion. 1-1, I believe, with this deck. I think we've only lost once, right? Yeah, 1-1. Alright. Decent start. That first game was super close. You don't play around Harsh Rule in draft ever. And then I did make a bonehead mistake after that, but really a close game. And it was a deck, all my opponent did, like, they just aggressively went into 3 colors to play a bunch of 2-drop creatures, and then had a Harsh Rule in the deck. So it was even more unexpected. Like, they had Oni Ronins, they had Strangers that were splashed, and so it was, like, clearly just a very aggressive deck, and then just had a Harsh Rule in it. But good for them for making it work. And Harsh Rule plus play a creature, which you don't see too often because you normally play Harsh Rule in decks with more expensive cards. But Harsh Rule plus play a creature is pretty sweet. This hand looks good enough. We've got triple time sigils for our one dude, and then we've got some other sick cards here. I will save the Levitate for the Tundra Explorer here, I believe. We might just need to Levitate this if they start putting stuff on it, though, too. They are in Huru, which is generally the color of Aegis plus Relic weapons. Or Aegis plus weapons, rather. No blocks. So teleport would make all their weapons fall off. Alrighty.
The ice is deep here.
Tundra Explorer should at least stop some of their attacks, though. We're probably not going to attack with it this turn. Yep, they're just getting in with a Warcry. No problem. No fast spells for them in their current hand. That guy's a little bit annoying, but actually not too big of a deal. I think I might play Ephemeral Wisp here to be able to start chump blocking. Next turn I'll be playing lands 5 and 6. Alright, just that. We'll block. Actually, probably could have just blocked with Ephemeral Wisp. It's kind of free. Don't have to worry about like static bolts or something post-combat.
Just reattach this.
And with an Emerald Acolyte, I am not feeling too uncomfortable here with what my opponent's presenting. Might dagger up my 5/5. Yeah, let's go for it. Well, it's a 5/5 now. That's going to stop their 1/5 from attacking. And those Warcries are adding up. My opponent's got, what, 3 Warcries, 4 Warcries in their deck right now? And we haven't seen any of them. Alright, some more Aegis. Let's ramp and try to play Pillar of Amar this turn. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for Pillar with teleport back up. I could attack. What would that let me do? It would let me teleport and get a blowout attack. Let's just play Pillar of Amar for now. My opponent could have a Vanquish here. I think it's pretty likely they would have vanquished last turn. So they're pretty much needing to top deck a kill spell. Levitate, pretty good. Friendly Wisp, also pretty good. Friendly Wisp is weird. It means that we can almost, like, aggressively levitate. Nah, we'll just levitate this and block with it. Keep open teleport mana. We just can't lose if we keep open teleport mana. They have to attack with it, so will they also attack with some other stuff? They will. Alright, well I'm going to take out this guy then, because I can take out this next turn when I chump block it with the Wisp. Let's go Levitate here. Psionic Savant. Eat this. Take 3. Now we're at 20. Our board is insane compared to our opponents. Still haven't hit the lands we need. I'm going to keep open teleport mana. And I guess just pass the turn. Yeah. An Echo for my opponent there. This could be bad. This could be dragons. Say no blocks. I want to draw 2 cards. All I need to do is hit a sigil, and I draw 2 cards. Alright, Copper Hall Recruit was the draw last turn, I suppose. Yeah, so sigil just gives me 2 cards. That was definitely worth holding on to for another second there. And now I have 2 more sigils. Oh no, this becomes a 4/4? Wow, that's insane. Can't attack into a 5/8, of course, but I will attack with my 4/4 flyer. Lightning Strike. Let's save it. I think this is going to be how I win when I just flood the rest of the field in 5/5s. Now I can even block the 4/4 on the Snapper, which I think I will take up. And here comes the dragons. Okay. So my opponent has 1 more dragon in their hand. However, we get a 5/5 every turn. And we're going to have a 6/6 flyer in a second here.
The ice is deep here.
We got a long one, though. I'm not exactly sure how I break out of this one, other than just having an insanely big Sky Savant. I'm going to say either no blocks or chump block here. Haven't yet decided. I think it is... I think it's chump block. Yeah. Definitely don't want to double block it and trade our 6/6 for a 5/6, because now our battlefield's just much better than theirs. Let's play 2 5/5s this turn. Is that enough where we can start attacking for any sort of value? Not really. Let's just hold out here. What if I Omen? What can I Omen for? Alright, well that's really good. Now I need to Omen for a kill spell on the Civic Peacekeeper. This isn't even going to ready on this turn. Oh shit. They got me. Wow, Civic Peacekeeper got me. Alright, so I need to keep back a chump blocker for the 5/5. What else do I need? They're going to silence another blocker, so let's just have them silence this. Oh, they just have lethal regardless. It doesn't matter what we do. Oh wait, but what if I draw some spells off my Tundra Explorers? Alright, let's just attack with my Tundra Explorers then. Good game, my friend. No spells to be had. Trade off and trade off. Makes sense. Seems like a good trade-off. I'll play another 5/5 and concede the game. Yeah, that dragon 5/6 is pretty strong. I feel like I draft so much worse when I have the quest win 5 games in draft. When I don't have that quest, I think I can draft pretty decently. But whenever I have that, I just seem to be like, alright, here's a bunch of 0-win drafts for you. On the play, only needs one more land, but we just don't have it. Let's just redraw. Try to get a hand that's a little bit safer. This hand isn't that, but yeah, there's some silver linings. At least we can play a Gruon in this hand. So it's arguably better. Whereas the other hand, maybe we just would have missed on forever. Alright, that's a pretty good draw. Another time mana would be fantastic to be able to lay out a False Prince on turn 3. That's pretty aggressive once you start doing that. Alright, not quite. I think I will cycle Levitate here. The only awkward part about Levitate is my opponent might have a False Prince. Alrighty. Also, I guess the Levitate would have made Psionic Savant a little bit stronger. My opponent's going to put 2 cards back and echo them. And then draw 2 more cards next turn. Wow, okay. Herald Song. They're getting a lot of life off this camel. At the same time, they're also not really doing anything. So I'm not sure this is a huge deal. But my opponent has one more Herald Song in their hand. Yeah, not a huge deal. Sure.
I have foreseen this.
It's going to take too long to play this with Teleport Backup. Might as well just get it into play. We have Teleport Backup if they try to Lightning Strike it. We just don't have it if they try to Static Bolt it. This puts it into play depleted. It's no good. Let's just attack and play a False Prince, I think. They could also just Secret Pages Dagger Dagger. This is fine.
Get away.
Opponent at 30 life. We've dealt 2 damage to them so far. We have 2 pretty good creatures for them to target here. So, either way, I think we're getting something blown up. Okay, a Frostkin. That is actually not the worst. The fact that they played their creature pre-combat means that we could actually get some teleport value here too. That's pretty good tempo-wise. Is that worth it? Yeah, I think so. Teleport can do a lot. It can save your creatures. It can do all that, but it also just gained us about 12 life points there. And at some point, that's got to be enough. I'm going to dagger up, give him a big, beefy target here. And then end step, secret pages so we can use pillar. Uh-oh. If they've got dragons too, this could be a little bit tricky. Though also if they have dragons, that means that teleport did a lot of work. It just removed all of their dragons almost indefinitely. What do they have? They just want to get in for one? And then play a monster? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Alright, land is good, non-land is good as well. Let's smack. Sweet. Definitely don't mind trading for a Terrazon. And now, even if they have the best Echoer in the business with 5-6 dragons, they're in a little bit of trouble. I don't even know what I would Celestial Omen for here. I guess I would just Celestial Omen for the Wyvark. I don't think I have any, like, cheap card draw or anything like that. Oh, I guess Celestial Omening for Amber Acolyte would be pretty good. Alright, 4 games in Draft or Forge. We're getting there. See, we also gain a lot more juice than we lose. That's pretty interesting, too. Sure, that's just like an MMR thing. Hand seems solid, right? We're on the play. I think this is going to turn into a depleted sigil. But I'll hold on to it for a second here. Yeah. Hand's fine. Doesn't need a 5/5. Just wants to curve out.
Proud to serve.
Slightly punished. Not even punished that much. Yeah, let's just take the Primal Sigil. Let's be safe. I really wanted to go Time Sigil to play the Sand Warrior here, but I don't even want to trade Sand Warrior for Argenport Soldier. Well, now I do. And right, this turn I get to go Horn Verlunk and Sand Warrior anyways. I think I'm going to hang on to Zenin Guardian for a sec. Haven't quite made use of that extra mana yet, but I'm sure I will with this Celestial Omen in hand. Gonna go and grab ourselves a pillar.
On my
Right, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. That's why I didn't play the Zenin Guardian. I didn't want to have to be forced to chump block here. But I actually still don't want to block this. So I'm going to say no blocks. The Horn Verlunk just winds up, or just lines up so well against these other monsters that my opponent has here. So I like this a lot better. Because I want to positive battle this, which means I want to trade with this. But we've got enough monsters on the field here now where I think we're in reasonable shape. Alright, no more spells for my opponent, at least no more fast spells. So we're doing okay. One more land and we can Celestial Omen. That card's a little bit annoying though. Do we have to Omen for something cheaper? Well, we don't have to figure it out right now. I think my opponent will just be attacking with Chieftain here. Would honestly love to just activate my Zenin Guardian. Oh, that's annoying. I think I have to play Celestial Omen because it's just so expensive and trade with Guerrilla Fighter here. I'm going to take a look. So we've got Daggers, Friendly Wisp, Pillar, Levitate. False Prince could be good. So I'm thinking what I can do, especially if I draw the land. I can trade with Warband Chieftain, and even though I lose a little bit of value on this, just after blocks, bounce their other creatures. Alright, well, what did he silence? Nothing? Oh, can you cancel the silence? Oh, I never knew that. Yeah, you guys have probably seen me do that too many times where I don't cancel my own silence abilities. This isn't that much value. They're still going to be able to play a 3-3 or a 4-1 to finish up their turn. I think they just replay the 3-3 if they were already comfortable with having it out there to begin with.
Choose your side.
Nope, they're going to play Rebel Sharpshooter.
A gift from the east.
Then they're going to make my guy lose flying, hit me for 6. Yeah, I've lost. This game's over.
Your sword,
I mean, I just have to jump like this regardless. It's just way too much damage. They'll hit me down to 2 here. I think that's all they got. No, they're not going to lay out their cards too much. But I don't have anything. So there's nothing I can do. And we still are unable to complete this quest of winning the games in draft. I do get to draft one more time here with this gold. You know what? Let's do it. One more draft. Let's run out of gold. Maybe I'm tilting? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a little bit feels bad, man, but just trying to figure out, like, what's going on. Sometimes you just have it. Sometimes you just have bad days, and sometimes you have good days. I had the one day, like, the day I hit Masters and the day that I hit Diamond was just, like, I didn't lose pretty much the entire day. So both of those were good. Think of just Awakened Student here. Just try to get that back out again. Alright. Awakened Student, let's go. Combray Stranger helps us play Awakened Student. Let's say Combray Stranger. Elysian Stranger potentially helps us play Awakened Student. Blind Storyteller's fun. Dune Phantom isn't bad. Just take Elysian Stranger. Flame Blast is pretty strong, but I think I'm going to take Towering Tarazan. Oh, unless... Oh, never mind. I've got enough. Alright. Tarazan it is. Shepherd, Watchwing. Just forcing Combray. We're just going to make it happen. Detain is fine. Play Daggers. Pathfinder, Fury. This is interesting. Ageless Mentor. Ageless Mentor is just insane. Alright, I like it. False Prince, which is potentially a splash right now. I mean, it's not even, like, we only have 3 green cards. We could definitely turn this into Elysian again. But you know what? I think I'm just going to take a 4-cost card, because this will get +2/+2 from an Ageless Mentor, and it's already pretty good. So I'll take that. Alright, this is about the best card you can get with Ageless Mentor. Plus, it's just a really good card. It's better than a Combray Banner. Finest Hour's good. Silverwing Avenger's pretty good. Combray Banner's also decent. I'm going to take Silverwing Avenger, though. Sure. Aspirant. Another Guardian. Another Tarazan. This deck's big. It's definitely big Combray. I might actually even play that, even though I never do. Ooh, an Oath Book. Okay, Oath Book is great. We're going to win some games here. What do we got? Protect. Inspire's pretty cool. Torch is great, but I don't think we can play it. I just don't think we need another 4-drop with this deck. Deck is already super expensive. Let's just take an Inspire, and hopefully that'll help out our early game. Initiate of the Sands and Elder's Feather. I think I'm going to go Initiate. This deck's really big, so I like it. Karmic Guardian is great. Great with Ageless Mentor, obviously. Safe Return's cool, but Karmic Guardian, pretty sweet, and will let us get some other potential strong cards with it. Copper Hall Recruit, maybe we play it. I'd rather play Tower Top Patrol than Copper Hall Recruit, but I think I like the first Safe Return. The first Safe Return is pretty sweet to have. We'll just rare draft a slow, I suppose. Sand Warrior or Friendly Wisp. Both of them seem solid. I mean, we're definitely triggering Friendly Wisp with this deck. Alright, let's take it. A second Safe Return. That's not bad. A Teleport, also not bad. I'm not going to play Accelerate. Just rare draft. I might actually play Acolyte, like I said. Seems like a fine deck to have a Healer's Cloak in. Just gain a bunch of life by putting it on one of our big monsters here. I think I will go Temple Scribe over Tarazan. I mean, we already have a lot of meat here. Double Tarazan and a Sauropod. So I think just a Temple Scribe for the early game seems pretty good. Also for the late game, it can be beneficial. I'd love to take Crystallize, but we're just not in a position to splash here. I think this actually could be a Sauropod Wrangler deck. I normally don't play this card, but I think it's going to be good enough. Huru Fledgling, though? Now let's take a 2-drop. Hourglass seems fun in this deck. Alright, Hourglass it is. Bright Mace Paladin on 3 or another Sauropod Wrangler 2-drop. I'd like to cut some of these 3-drops. They're Emerald Acolytes, you know? But Sauropod Wrangler is still pretty good. Healer's Cloak is also good with Karmic Guardian and Bright Mace Paladin. Could just be time to pick up a Paladin here. Get a solid 3-drop in the deck. This is also kind of a 3-drop because it lets us play our 5-drops on turn 4. We're kind of doing a little bit of a theme draft thing here, so let's take that. I guess I'll take Ceremonial Mask. It's another huge card. Bold Adventure is pretty good, but this seems fun. I'll take a Mask. Don't really like Synchronized Strike. Also don't really like Privilege of Rank. I think I'm just going to rare draft and cut Privilege of Rank here. Predator's Instinct. If there is a Predator's Instinct deck, it is this one. Not going to play Valkyrie. Might actually play Treasury Guard in this deck, though. No Camels and no Water of Life. So what do we got here? We got more cards than we need. Let's not play Elysian Stranger. We can maybe cut Detain. We can probably cut these daggers. Though, no, we actually don't want to cut any of our removal. Or any of our pump. Because we have Karmic Guardian. 36. So I actually need to cut a lot of cards here. I need to cut about at least 8 cards. Alright, let's start cutting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven. Yeah, refresh is fine, but what did I take over refresh? I don't know. I just don't think I was going to play it regardless. I think I can cut this Hornverlunk too. This is still only 17 lands, but 17 lands with an Initiate of the Sands and an Inspire. Safe Return is pretty sick with Predator's Instinct, but it's all we have for it right now. A lot of our early game is pretty mediocre. All we need to do is survive till we can start slamming these big boys. And then, like, we're probably going to win with the Flyers anyways, so we do probably want to hang on to the Flyers. Yeah, I'm nervous to cut the daggers in a deck with Karmic Guardian. I just got free win written all over it. I like the Healer's Cloak too for similar reasons. And I think with 3 creatures, that's probably enough for Sauropod Wrangler, plus the Ageless Mentor turning the Zenin Guardians into creatures that can get discounted. Though that doesn't really matter, right? Because you play turn 3 Ageless Mentor, then turn 4 you're just going to play Zenin Guardian anyways. Maybe having said that, the Wranglers aren't that great. So maybe cut one, but play the other. You know what? It does kind of act as a land, too, so... Keeping him 1. This is 18 lands with Initiate, Sauropod, and Inspire. Only 1 Awakened Student. You know what? Wrangler might be better than Combre Stranger. So let's put back in the Wrangler, keep the Stranger out of the deck. 10-8. Seems fine. That lets us play Temple Scribe a little bit easier. And we've got Terrazon and Sauropod and Karmic Guardian. Yeah, all those. And then we only have 2 double green cards that aren't super impressive either. Alright. Let's give this a shot. 18 lane Combre. Pretty straightforward deck, I think. Nothing too fancy, but a Paladin Oathbook is pretty strong, and we've got some cool Karmic Guardian ways to pump that. As well as like 4 creatures with flying, so solid on the flyers. Actually, one more than that. I forgot about the Friendly Wisp. We are going to have to redraw this one, though. I don't even know why it gives you 1-landers. You're never going to keep them. Seems like all I get is 1-landers into 2-landers. I mean, maybe I should just be less greedy and play more lands, but it's just a lot of games that go late, too. We could get the 1-2... Oh, no, we can't get the 1-2-3 curve. What am I saying? If only I could Finest Hour this so that I could play it, that would be sweet. Start casting the Healer's Cloak from your hand. Static Bolted, never mind. See ya. iQuad, do you know what you were referring to when you said that refresh is better? Because I'm not sure what specific card you were actually talking about there.
The price of progress.
My opponent didn't play anything on turn 4, so I don't know what that means. Oh, Second Sight to put it back on top. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Karmic Guardian stops that in its tracks. Silverwing Avenger, pretty good at knocking off those shenanigans too. We just need to hit another time mana to be able to play Karmic Guardian. But yeah, Second Sight is definitely a reason not to play out all your cards there. Alright, another Justice mana. Not exactly what I was looking for. I'll play Zen Guardian. I only need to keep open 1 mana to Finest Hour this. Not triple blocking. No way. Alright, Sapphire Dragon's a little big, though. So now I can play Karmic Guardian. Can actually trade Finest Hour for Sapphire Dragon already. I think I'm probably going to have to take up that offer. My opponent checked for quick spells, so they know I've got a Finest Hour now. They might not realize it. Slash, I might have hit it quick enough. Sick. That's pretty fantastic. That'll change the course of the game right there. A 1 mana, destroy your 6/6, gain 4 life points. That's a pretty strong card. Do I want a Healer's Cloak and start getting in there now? Think so. My opponent already showed that they are not able to kill this Karmic Guardian. They could trade Lightning Strike plus Hatchling for it. That's what they're going to do. Alright, maybe I should have checked for Lightning Strike before I attacked. Yeah, now they can attack with this guy. I'm still going to say no blocks, because I can Silver Wing Avenger it, and then it can't really attack. Alright, Infiltrate. Draw the top spell of your deck, deal damage to each enemy unit equal to that spell's cost. Alright, well that guy cannot get in there. That is definitely some awesome power you have there, though, for sure. What if I make it a 4/7? Is that any good? So many ultimates here. The thing is, what creature do I want to chump block? And the answer is like Emerald Acolyte, really. So I guess I just have to play these two this turn. Let's attack for 2 in the air. I haven't been able to do that for a little bit.
Easy, big guy.
Then let's play our chump blockers. So the plan is like to chump block this turn. Oh, Zen and Obelisk. Pretty strong as well. Alright, we get a free block here. We get the chump block here. And that's all we get to do. Luckily our life total's high from the Karmic Guardian. Hatchling's annoying. Alright, Ageless Mentor is our chump blocker for the turn. Or maybe we can gang block with an Ageless Mentor.
Time to reflect.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9. Our whole team for this Ice Heart. Don't know what else I can do. I might draw a big creature next turn. Maybe that's what I have to play for instead. My opponent's going to kill everything but Ageless Mentor, I believe. Or maybe they'll just leave me with the Flyers. See, that was 3 damage. Yeah. That was 5 damage. Oh, they can kill the Ageless Mentor. Leave me with Sauropod. Two more hatchlings. Yikes. Okay.
For those we've lost.
Chump, chump. Yeah, we lose. You can go trade, chump block, and take 13. I thought that game looked good for us, but my opponent's deck was a little too strong, had arguably 2 legendaries in their deck, because Zen and Obelisk is quite the legend. And then the other, or quite the card. The other card wasn't like constructed tier, definitely wasn't as good as Zen and Obelisk, but also just hatchlings are good. Hatchlings are quite fantastic. Gifts Forgiven. Have an Oath Book, which is maybe our most powerful card, but hand had nothing else. Ageless Mentor, the Karmic Guardian. Yeah, that was the other thing. Maybe I could have played in a different way that let me keep the Karmic Guardian. Just played super, super slow with it. Refusing to ever use it. I'll probably play Ageless Mentor on turn 4, just to see if I can draw any more cards to go along with it.
Easy, big guy.
Though if I draw some Twin Pods, I'll just run out the Mentor. Especially now that they only cost 4 mana. Yeah. So I think this is the play here. You just play this on 3, and then on turn 4 you play this. Leaves you playing Karmic Guardian a turn later, but it gives you another chance to hit a sweet 5-drop. And then I'll just play it, because I'm not going to wait around forever. And a 2/3 that gives my guy +2/+2. Still pretty strong.
And what yet will
Alrighty, well, got a little bit punished because now I just have a 3/6 in my hand. And only can attack with this. Alright,
Unburdened.
that's embarrassing. Lands are good to eventually activate the Aspirant. Oath Book would be great. Alright, see ya, Aspirant. Still get to attack with Karmic Guardian for free. And Towering Terrazon's pretty fantastic too. I would have rathered some Twin Pods, but I'll take it. Get to go Sauropod into Terrazon though.
don't make me angry.
Alright, that's how my opponent got that snowball. Yeah, if they'll double block. And when drawn, right? Yeah, done something when drawn. Alright, so we'll teleport this. It's also just the more expensive creature. And teleport turns into a kill spell for Steward of Prophecy.
We shall find the way.
Elysian Stranger False Prince. Alright, that's not bad. False Prince is almost assuredly going to block this, eh? This attack's free. I think all these other ones are too. They translate into some nice damage. Trade, trade, bounce. So we hit them for 6 and trade off 2 monsters that cost the same. Seems about as good as you're going to get for that. Now my opponent can replay their Snowballer. They decide not to. What does that mean? Does that mean they're going to come in and eat the Sauropod Wrangler with a flash creature? No, it means they've got a 5/3 flash. Well, I can't just attack with one creature. They're going to play the 5/3 flying ambush. They're going to bounce here. They're going to eat this, take 4. I don't love it, but... Oh, just Scorpion Wasp. That's fine. That's just a 1-for-1. We hit them for 5. Next turn they can block 2 of our creatures, take 4. We lose this guy.
Don't make me angry.
My opponent's going to take 3 here, rather. But they're going to take 3, drop to 2. We can't actually attack here yet. Alright. Let's just play defense now. We put them down to 5. That means a flyer will be a short clock on them. Terrazon's also good. That gives us attacks again. Opponent's got a lot of cards in hand for not doing anything. Ah. Okay. So now what happens if we swing out? They eat this. They eat this. They block here. They take 3, drop to 2. Alrighty. Now my opponent has Justice mana, so I think that will unlock some more aspects of their hand. It will. We're just looking for a flyer then. No big deal. I should have been hanging on to Sigils. I forgot. This deck doesn't have that much in the way of landfall. It's just Awakened Student, but... I forgot about him.
Hold still.
Okay. That's interesting. That means we can't really draw any flyers, because our flyers are just going to turn into 5/5s.
Think you can escape me?
This, I guess? Maybe this. Oh, sure. Right. That's a lot better. End step, make a 5/5 that silences your shit. That's pretty good. Stun this, smack for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They get to kill 2 of our guys. Sure. Safe return could be pretty cool too. Unfortunately, my opponent's got really good attacks here. Alright, Inspire. Feel like eventually we're going to see this turn into a 5/5 as well. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, keep that stunned. Mithril Mace. Okay. Yeah, now I have no good blocks. Puts my life total pretty low, but not sure what else I can do. Can't attack into this. I think I have to save for turn just to refresh my guy. And then I'll use Finest Hour in some other combination to chump block. My opponent could turn this into a 5/5 now if they wanted to as well. Okay, now they're going to make that into a 5/5. Landfall, silence my dude, and then swing out. Sure. This buys me a second, puts them down to 2 as well. So there's some awkward parts about their ability to attack me here. Fortunately, we also drew 11 mana this game after getting mana screwed in previous games. Okay, going all in. Turning the Carnosaur into a 5/5 itself. We have to go chump block, and we still die, I believe. Yes, good game, my friend. Alrighty. Yeah, -9. Not too close. And is that the end of this draft, too? I think we're 1-2, right? No, we're 0-2. Okay. That's why it felt like the end. We haven't won a game yet. We're 0-2. Right. Okay. This deck's definitely better than that, though. Well, guess we should have kept the last hand. The last hand just seems super not exciting to me. But I guess it just had 4 lands, so we had to keep it. That seems lame. We'll draw out of this one. Start putting some daggers on the flying Warcry guy. Play the watch book. Oh yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're killing it. Easy win. Don't worry about it, dudes. Combray Healer. No, Watchwing themselves. Justice Sigil. I think I'm just going to play my flyers. Try to trade off my Aspirant for Watchwing.
I fly for the
price of progress.
Obviously, like, I don't have to do that, but...
Proud to serve.
Oh shit, they're not attacking into me. That's got to be good. Let's... I really want to play Oath Book. Yeah, I'm going to play it.
Speak your oath.
So now if I just put a dagger on my Aspirant, like... They just have no good attacks, right? But I also don't mind just trading these off and holding on to my daggers. Yeah, I'm just going to offer the trade here still and hold on to my daggers. Next turn, if they play something big in the air, I can always go. That was interesting to play a Monument Depleted on turn 4. Yeah, that was the other reason I kind of wanted to save my daggers here. Plus, I mean, I'm just getting Warcries out of this.
Unburden yourself.
Just mono green flyers right now. Sure. I still kind of want to keep attacking with the Warcry guy and not with these other guys, but yeah, I'm going to. Let's just see how big we can make this dude. Then I play this. I gotta just be killing it now. Alright, this hand we kind of popped off. We had the Oath Book. We drew pretty good. We were on the play. We won 5 games in Draft and Forge. It's like the least excited I've ever been to open up a crystal chest. Ceremonial Mask ain't bad. Can you open legends from chests? You probably can, but just with like ridiculously low odds. Let me know in chat or in the comments on YouTube if you've ever opened up a legend in a chest. And what type of chest it was. That's pretty hard to mulligan, isn't it? This hand's definitely not bad. Just to play a huge monster on turn 5. And huge monsters are pretty nasty. Some daggers, okie dokie. I'll wait till turn 4 on the Ageless Mentor like we did last time. It's never happened to you. Yeah, I can't remember if it's happened to me, which probably means it hasn't, right? But I'm not sure, like, I feel like it could have happened to me. Right, I feel, yeah, same thing. I feel like it could be possible. Should be possible, even. Some smacking. I could put a dagger on the Treasury Guard here. That'll pretty much stop any attacks from my opponent. Though what happens if I just... Oh, right. Actually, if I just play Ageless Mentor, that stops any attacks from my opponent. What if I just play this? Does that stop all attacks? Probably 2, and it lets me hang on to the Ageless Mentor for another second here. Though I wouldn't mind playing Terrazon on 5 this game. Alright. Let's just play Terrazon turn 5. Play Ageless Mentor here. My opponent can't attack. If they attack with just Battle Blur, I just bounce off of it. And if they attack with Battle Blur and Treasury Guard, I double block to take 2 to just eat their 2/3 for free. We get to kill this with our mask next turn. So that's pretty solid. And we'll give this +4/+4 and send with this guy as well.
My sword is yours.
Renegade Valkyrie is actually a little bit awkward. It means that our Ceremonial Mask is going to go down. However, I'm not sure that I can afford to play Ceremonial Mask alongside the Acolyte. What happens if I smash with the Terrazon here, though? Opponent takes... 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, it's better. I don't want to Primal Strength into that. I guess I could, I could dagger up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now it already dies to Torch, but they would have had to draw Torch relatively recently. Dies to Temper. I guess I'll play around Temper. That's a lot of damage.
Just reattach this.
Okay. Lose all of our excess armor here.
Not on mark.
But now I can, like, take out the Treasury Guard instead. Yeah, like what happens if I just do this and attack? These two are lethal, so the Terrazon's going to get chump blocked. There's no sense attacking with this guy, I guess. Though what if they block this? They take 9, go down to 7. Terrazon's already lethal. Will these two be lethal in conjunction next turn? No. Okay. There's no point in attacking with Emerald Acolyte. We'll just do this. Give them the chance to chump block or bounce block. Cool. So we hit them for 7. And then play a Sigil. They will be able to clear our Relic Weapon by attacking it with 1 Renegade Valkyrie.
Give you a swift death.
They're going to let me hang on to it, though. Let's draw a card.
It's written right here.
Try to find another Emerald Acolyte. That'd be pretty silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can kill the Terrazon if they block it with everything. At which point they take lethal from our weapon. What happens if we trade this for like this? Seems like then the Treasury Guard will be getting in some good attacks. Alright, let's take out their 5-drop. I'll just throw this out here so I can space. I guess I might have to make another decision if they double block Treasury Guard here. So they go Battle Blur on the Acolyte. They chump block that, and they chump block that. Take 2, go down to 7. I lose 1 of my creatures. They lose 2 of theirs. Now they will have to chump block Terrazon and take 7 here. Alright, Granite Acolyte, pumping that. They're going to chump block Terrazon with the 2-1. They're going to eat our Treasury Guard, and they're going to take 4, drop down to 3. I'm still okay with that. Next turn, they'll have to chump block Terrazon with whatever they top deck. They'll get to eat Ageless Mentor, and they'll take 2, going down to 1. Then the following turn, they'll chump block Terrazon with whatever they draw, and
I fly for the
block the other one, taking 1, which will be lethal. Can't do that. Definitely can't do that, guy. But yeah, it was lethal if I just continue to A-space. They were going to need to draw multiple cards in one turn, or some kind of like assembly line or something like that. We're back in it. 2-2, right? Finest Hour by itself, a little bit slow. Loyal Watchwing. We're on the draw. I think I'm going to redraw this. Just look for something a little bit safer. This seems fantastic. Turn 1, Initiate of the Sands on the draw to make up for the lack of speed and extra cards. So now essentially it's like we're on the play. Because we're an extra card up on my opponent. 7 with the double Sauropod. That's kind of negated too. Oh, and turn 2 Sauropod Wrangler for the turn 3 Sauropod. That's pretty sweet. Turn 3 Sauropod. It would have been better on the play. I really don't want to trade Initiate for Minotaur Grunt when next turn we're going to start playing huge fatty boom booms. I'll take the damage.
Not on Mars.
My opponent immediately just doesn't have any good blocks here. I do have to play the Time Sigil, which is funny. I have so few lands that I'm just barely at the influence requirement to play a Sauropod. When you think you're on the play and then your opponent just plays a Sauropod, that is pretty embarrassing. I'll attack here. If they double block, alright, they're just going to Lightning Strike. No, I like my guy. Turn teleport into a sauropod. That's pretty reasonable, I'd say. And Treasury Guard actually stops any attacks that my opponent could have here, too. If they attack with Warcry, I just double block it. And if they attack with anything else, I don't care. Alright, well that's pretty good. Let's him kill that. I'm actually not afraid to double block this now, because I've got more than enough lands to play my creatures. So we'll trade Initiate in the Sands for a 1/3. Next turn, they're going to trade their weapon in for the Sauropod. I'm not going to safe return this. What would be cool is if they attack and then try to weapon my Sauropod, I will safe return it then. That would be quite fantastic. Would be more than happy to make that play. Unfortunately, these safe returns and teleports don't draw me the cards. Alright, they are going to go for the safer play here. Swing, offer a trade. I will trade the 2 for 1 here. It's a little bit annoying. It's a 1 for 1. But I'll still do it. Then I'm going to play Towering Terrazon this turn, because they will need more than just these 2 to take it down. That does let them know that my hand is Spell plus Terrazon. Wow, another Dino. Wow, this draw was fantastic. Initiate, Wrangler, Terrazon, Sauropod, Safe Return, Teleport. I feel like the only thing I have to worry about is Harsh Rule, and even that, I'm still keeping Safe Return open at all times. Alright, let's smack. If they Harsh Rule, I will return a Terrazon to my hand, at which point it is a 7/6, so it's lethal. Then I'll put a Healer's Cloak on it. Alright, that was a pretty quick one. It's going to almost get us into gold here. We might... I think we should be able to get into gold by the end of this draft. Like I said, I think this deck is good. We got a little bit unlucky at the start there, but you've just seen 2 games... Well, I think 1 game our opponent didn't draw well, right? But then 2 games where the deck performed fantastically. 1 game where it just drew an Oath Book, and the other game where, well, we did it. Sand's obviously pretty good. We have turn 2 Wrangler into turn 3 Student plus hit our land drop, which we'll probably take that route, especially against a Primal deck. A little bit punished for how I sequenced my lands here, but still pretty solid. We get to go Awaken Student, land drop, and then keep open Safe Return. So our Student really isn't going anywhere. I'll smack. The fact that we played the Student first means that my opponent is now probably less likely to chump block, as they feel they'll need to double block the Student in some capacity, but could see a Lightning Strike here. My opponent has one last opportunity to Lightning Strike it. No, they're just going to try to race us with a Recurring Nightmare. To be honest, I don't know the math. I feel like a card that doubles is better than a card that gets +1/+1 every turn, but those daggers will help. We need to clock them, so we need to deal as much damage as we can. And swinging for 6 on turn 4 might be the way to do it. So obviously leaves us without Safe Return mana. My opponent could exhaust this. Nope, they're just going to hit us for 2. Well, I feel like that's a pretty good thing for us. I feel like I'm winning this race now. My guy is already at 6 attack, and it's going to take a little bit. We're hitting them for 8 here, down to 11. How is that fair? We have lethal next turn. So, Awakened Student gets there. Sky Snapper for the trade on Zenning Guardian. Well, I'm not going to offer that trade, I don't think. Though maybe I just am. Because if they don't chump block... Nah, let's just do like this. The thing is, they're not going to be able to block Zenning Guardian next turn because this card has Reckless. So they pretty much would put them in a spot where they've got a chump block or they're not blocking at all. This card is lethal now in conjunction with Temple Scribe when I play a land next turn. Dark Return Sky Snapper? No, Dark Return the Stranger to play a 3/3. Well, that's not going to be enough. They're going to have to chump block again because these two guys are lethal. So they have to chump block. They take 4, go down to 6. Next turn, this is lethal and this is lethal, so I've got 2 lethal attackers. They have got 1 card that they can play, and that's probably just going to be Recurring Nightmare Pass. Or something like that. Feeding Time, maybe. Anything that they can do. Unless they play 2 cards against me here. No, Serpent Trainer is 1 card. Let's start the turn. They'll block the student, and we Finest Hour the Zenning Guardian. Good game, my friend. And that is the power of an Awakened Student. And that's also Golden Draft for the season. Well, that's not too bad if I can already hit gold off of just 1 good draft. And I think that's a lot because the MMR, I don't lose that much for losing because my MMR is above that of a silver player. But when I win, it can correctly adjust me to where I'm supposed to be. I believe that's what's going on here. Excuse me. Taking a little bit to find an opponent here. We're going to have a few packs to open up at the end of this stream too, which is kind of cool. On the play, can play an Aspirant, 1 more land, and we can play a Watchwing, Sauropod, and Acolyte. Let's redraw. We have an Awakened Student in the deck too. What is up, Strax? Hello, hello. This hand is much, much better. This hand is actually quite fantastic. Wowie zowie, this hand just got even better. Didn't really think it could, but that was certainly the best card that we could draw. And that's a little bit awkward, the Aspirant, not quite on time here. But having a 2/3 to block a Ranger is decent, assuming my opponent cannot kill my 2/3. It's a little bit tough to kill, but it is a mono-faction creature with 3 or less attacks, so not impossible. Sidearm, eh? Alright, I think we're just going to have to let my opponent have a big monster here. There's potential to chump block it later. If I can, like, bounce it or something, then maybe I can go for a double block later once we get the sidearm off of it. I can also just double block it with 2 Twin Pods. There's a lot of ways where that backfires, though. We're at least hitting my opponent back for some damages here. No real point in attacking with this guy. I guess we could represent a trick here or something. Yeah, nothing. But it also doesn't matter. We didn't get punished for doing it. Yeah, we'll try to double block the Ranger with safe return backup next turn. That could actually work out. They're going to stun this, but I can still double block the Swift Blade, so they still can't attack with that. We're just low on life points is the only problem here. Awakened Student's an interesting draw. Think I'm going to go Awakened Student, Aspirant, and play the land. I think we just might need this landfall trigger this game, because it's pretty close. That might lead us into trading off the Student for the Frostkin. Though no, because we can go Karmic Guardian on the Frostkin. My opponent's punished a little bit for attacking with more than just the Ranger, because that means I get to gain more life. Right now, the Ranger is lethal in 2 attacks. Would love to draw a way to make this Karmic Guardian a little bit bigger, obviously, too. But I won't complain if I don't draw daggers or Healing Cloak. Healing Cloak definitely just immediately puts us back in the game. Might even just immediately win the game. Opponent only on 1 primal. Yeah, so by attacking with this, I think all that really does is just let me gain life here. I can also choose to trade Treasury Guard for Frostkin. But I don't have to. But I might need to. No, because this is already good. I can double block here next turn. Alright, let's just do this. Alright, so my opponent just let me gain 1 more life. That means I'm not dead to this next turn. I am potentially dead to this. Though I can chump block this too. Or not chump block, but block it, rather, is all I meant to say. Alright, so I gain a life point here. And the plan is Sauropod on the Ranger. I'll be trading Sauropod for Ranger. Will be the end result. My opponent hit another Primal Mana. Means they could be drawing 2 cards here, but they did spend all their mana last turn. So it's not like we really know what's going on here. If the game stalls out, we've got a decent amount more life gain, which is good. If they play another Flyer, that's bad. Flash Freeze is not great. Stunning both Sauropods is not great. But now at this point we can just chump block this. So I think we're okay. Yeah, an all-out attack makes a lot of sense. I should have traded this into this last turn. Punished for it, obviously, here. So I think I have to go double blocks on this. Alright, this is fine. I wind up getting the same deal that I did last turn. I just left myself without the ability to chump block this. I lose my Endurance creature, which is a little bit awkward. Aspirant can still chump block here. Stranger can get in. Karmic Guardian can get in. I'm pretty sure I'm going to bounce Sauropod to my hand. End of turn here. Could also bounce Karmic Guardian. There's a lot of options here. Man und Maus. This is a very close game, my friend. Played against this guy before. He's pretty good. Okay, a Dark Return. Most likely on Frostkin. Yeah, so he gets Frostkin so he can stun something else out. I think I want to reset my Sauropod here. Healer's Cloak is the draw. Means I'm a little bit punished for throwing away that, but I'm gonna gain so many life points here. I might even be able to race. I gained 6 life points from playing it, 3 life points from attacking. This now cannot attack me. Oh, I was gonna debate if I should have attacked with Student. I think we're okay. I should have attacked with Student because I don't want to block with it, but I think we're okay. My opponent can stun the Aspirant and attack with Ranger so that if I wanted to block Ranger, I'm forced to chump with Student. I'm just not going to. I'm going to try to double block it with both Sauropods next turn now that I've gained so many life points here for free. I think my opponent is actually priced into... it's close. Oh, it's a 4/4 Ranger. That's really good, too. Yeah, they stun that so that I'm forced to chump block if I want to. I'm going to say no thank you. I'm going to go ahead and gain back up to 8 life points. This is a pretty cool game. I can play Emerald Acolyte to gain me 3, but then I'm just taking the damage. So, like, is that worth it to take the damage just to get the trigger off Friendly Wisp next turn? It might be. Emerald Acolyte's also a fine card to chump block with. Alright. Sure, this gains me a lot of life points here. At some point, gaining life points is pretty good. My opponent can't attack with Frostkin unless they also want to attack with Waykeeper. I do have to be a little bit careful about blocking with Karmic Guardian. I think one of the few ways that I lose this game is my opponent to able to execute a Karmic Guardian that they wouldn't otherwise be able to block with. However, my life total's low enough that I pretty much just have to hope that they don't have it. We'll look into options where we can eschew a Karmic Guardian block. Might just mean more chump blockers. I'd obviously really like to hang on to the Friendly Wisp. Alright, this is going to be an Emerald Acolyte chump block. Keep our life total at 11 here. This also means that if we draw a weapon, a Celestial... Well, I can't play Celestial Mace, or whatever that card's called. Kill a single faction unit. Alright, see ya. But that's not too bad either. They used an Annihilate to kill a 1/1 rather than a 6/5. That is obviously not too shabby. This guy can attack for free. This guy can't attack. This attack, it trades with Frostkin. Now, I want to keep it back to block Frostkin, I suppose. Yeah. Just a Karmic Guardian attack put us back to 14, and for the first time in this game, we are actually winning on life points. Now I'm about to have a Sauropod that can actually just battle this Ranger. Like, this Sauropod, wow. My opponent's been clocking me with a 6/5 since turn 4. Pretty much since turn 3, but actually since turn 4. And Karmic Guardian has just been able to keep us alive. This is a highlight video. This is on YouTube regardless of what happens here. Let's chump block here again. I believe. Yeah. It's good enough. We do want to get some chump blocks in. I can play them both. That's a pretty good draw, a 1-mana 2/2. think I'm going to squeak it out, Mouse. I think we are going to be able to get this one, but this has been a super sweet, super close game. All right, Permafrost on my 8-7. Do I have to chump block here? I'm at 17. What happens if I don't block? I attack with this. Attack with this. All right, I don't have good counterattacks. This guy's almost active. I'm going to say no blocks. Our life total is high enough that we can afford to take it, and we can't play a relic weapon next turn regardless. Make our student a little bit bigger. Almost forgot student wasn't silenced because that card has been a 3-3 forever. We'll put our opponent down to 6. They need to draw a Death Strike or a Feeding Time like 3 turns ago. Probably could have attacked with the Sauropod next turn, or last turn. I could quadruple block and take out the Ranger. My opponent does get a turn where they get to chump block with Waykeeper. The problem is that is just so bad if I'm wrong. And this is almost active. Yeah, I'm going to have 2 5/5s in a second here. If I draw a land. All right, well, that also gives me another 5/5. That's a pretty good draw, too. Basically, what I was thinking is, with me top decking a land, this turns into a 5/5, this turns into a 5/5. Throwing them away into a potential combat trick right now just doesn't seem good. All right, with my opponent not attacking, what attacks do I have here? If I attack with both of these guys, they can go double block on the Sauropod. If I swing with 4 guys, they've got to block them all. If I attack with all of my guys, then they just need a kill spell. But I have Zen and Guardian. All right, let's go for it. Very good game, Man and Mouse. I was going to go for it there, and he clearly did not have it. That was a great game. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, you can catch me live, where I'm streaming this right now, at twitch.tv/NoLuxGiven. I also post full VODs of all of my streams every day on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out as well. And I post full VODs, highlight videos like this one, and other sweet gameplay commentary like that. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, that was a sweet game. I think you know my tricks by now, Strax, but I like to save my time editing later. If it's a really sweet game, I just like to treat it as if it's a YouTube video. It saves me some editing later. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy game. Opponent was attacking me with a Ranger that I just could not deal with. He played that on turn 2, got it activated on turn 3 with a quick draw, and we just watched it. We watched it for the longest time, but that was a sweet game. Agent Goblin. Good luck, have fun. This hand seems sweet. Let's keep it. We're on the play. Played against Agent Goblin quite a few times now. Played against him a few times last night even, I think, too. I guess he is looking at whether to... Because we were on the play, right? Guess he's looking at whether or not he wants to keep his hand. Yep. Cool. Turn 2, Temple Scribe. Turn 3, start getting those Warcry triggers. Turn 4, play a Treasury Guard. And keep open mana to bounce the Watchwing. That makes the Watchwing a little bit more awkward of a play. But maybe we can draw some daggers, or hopefully we can draw that Oath Book, because that Oath Book is nasty. Would love to draw that in the meantime. Alright, no turn 2 play from Goblin. I'm debating just playing Treasury Guard here. It's just more damage, and we can't attack with Watchwing into a Spirit anyways, so it really doesn't matter. Oh my god, ask and you shall receive. Holy shit, Oath Book on turn 3? Yeah, Oath Book. This is going to be really tough for him to beat. He's Mono Justice currently. He could start pumping up this Aspirant. Well, I can just play a Zenin Guardian instead. I'm not sure. There's definitely ways we can lose this game. Harsh Rule is good against us. But it's not even great. I'm just going to safe return in response to a Harsh Rule here. He did play a Gem Blade last turn, so he could have a Harsh Rule. Alright, he has to keep this back. I'm tempted to just start pumping up the Watchwing, to be honest. Like, if I just make this a 2-2, then what is he going to do? Is he going to Primal Strength it? I think I just want to make a big dude here. Yeah, last game was super clutch. This game, unfortunately for Aging, looks like kind of just a stomp. Alright, there's his second color of mana. Will it be enough time? He can't stun either of the units that he wants to here. Start with this. Maybe I should Inspire first, just to see what we have, but... yeah, now he's going to start the chump blocks. Oh god. Alright, well, missed lethal. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. No, not quite. Not quite. But yeah. But yeah. That was quite the Stomperino. That was not close like last game at all. Unlucky. Our opponent did not draw well at all, and we just drew Oath Book and stomped. This draft, did this draft start 0-2 and then just completely pull out there? I think it might have. Oath Book, you guys can see, is absolutely insane. Awakened Student is also insane. Both of those cards single-handedly won me a game, and Karmic Guardian also single-handedly won me a game. And that's part of the reason I love Combray. All three of those cards can actually just win games, and you don't have to do anything else. Not on the play. Can't keep it. I'd maybe consider it on the draw, but only because I'm a madman. Alright, we need to draw some time mana here. This is the last game. This is the finals against just some dude. And if we can draw some time mana, this is looking pretty promising. We've got a kill spell. We've got a lot of fatty boom booms. We just need to not die to some early game infiltrators. And we need to draw some time mana. So hopefully we can do it. Our one land hand, our first hand, our non-redraw hand, was no good either, so it's not like we could have actually kept that. Alright, Gorgon Fanatic. It's good, but it doesn't clock us really. Justice Sigil, probably the worst draw in the deck. So our opponent's going to draw 3 cards here, which I think I'm actually okay with. It's a draw 3, gain 3, deal 3, which is a pretty sick card. 3 mana, Lightning Helix, Tidings. That's a good card. Nobody's going to dispute that. However, I think we're okay. We just need to draw some time mana, just a real little bit. 1 time mana means we can go Zenin Guardian, fight their flyer. 2 time mana means we can play everything else in our hand. I will do that, by the way, just because we're going to need all the help we can get. Actually, now I'm pressured into going Zenin Guardian, keep an open finest hour mana. Time mana! Let's get there. Sweet, okay. So Time Sigil. It means all we're actually going to do this turn is chunk block a Felon Stranger. Second Sight. My opponent could also just have a kill spell here. If they go kill spell, smack for 9, I think we can still draw out of that. Sidearm means I've got no blocks, and they've got almost lethal attacks. The Vulture's going to be lethal next turn. Alright, so how do I have to play this? If I chump block... Next turn, I just have to draw Terrazon or Guardian mana. A time mana still goes a long way, because I could play Karmic Guardian, blarg. Alright. So I'm going to block and eat the Thorn Beast, take 6, go to 1. Now, next turn, I need to play Karmic Guardian, and then I need to chump block this. And block here, I can't even. What do I need to do? Yeah, I mean, I have some plays here. Wait, no, I can survive. Holy shit, watch this. No, I don't have enough mana! Oh, I don't have enough mana! Oh, if I had one more mana, I was going to safe return this. It comes back into play as a 4/4, and I fight the Gorgon Fanatic. Oh, good game. But I can't replay it. I can just play a Paladin Oathbook. That's the end of the draft. That's the end of the stream. Probably. I might play a little bit of Constructed as we end the stream here, but that's certainly the end of the draft and the end of this game. At least we got in one good draft today. One good 6-2. And that's going to give us enough... Oh, yeah. That's going to give us enough gold to be able to draft again. Got 2 commons in the crystal chest there. And I guess gold chests don't give you any cards at all, so they just give you a pack. Let's see. I think I'm going to end the stream at 6 today. So I'm going to do a little bit of ranked play. I'm at silver in ranked right now because of the reset. So just going to do a little bit of grinding with my Vault of the Praxis Owls deck to finish us up here. On the draw, this hand's pretty solid. I'm going to keep it. Only needs 1 more mana to play Amber Acolyte. And then you can draw out. And I'll open up, I've got 13 or so packs. I'll open those all up at the end of the stream here. Sweet, drew the Fire Sigil. Next turn I'll be able to play Amber Acolyte, draw another Time Sigil. Then I can start running the Disciples out there. Jeskai, I don't see too much of this. I'd assume it's also a Volt deck, just with Scouting Party. Nope, we got a Brew. I guess it is the beginning of the season here, so people are back to playing some silly decks again. That's always sweet. Alright, Firebomb. And we're safe. Whew.
Safe travels, friend.
Safe travels, friend. Hopefully we can get some safe travels into the rest of this game. Got some Echoes. I don't know what else this will do. I mean, I guess it's just a burn and control deck. It's just going to play like Herald Song and Second Sights. And try to burn me and control me. Oh, that was pretty sick, too. Unstable form, get a... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's embarrassing. Okay. That's a little bit unfortunate. My opponent had a pretty sweet combo, but unfortunately just... You have to wait a turn in between those two steps, I imagine. Now we know what my opponent's Echo card was. Damn, that sucks. Because that was pretty sweet.
Can you hear me?
Whispering Wind seems cool. They're going to unstable form the Whispering Wind, though. That's probably not great. Oh, they just have a bunch of unstable forms, right, because of the one thing. I'm kind of pressured into playing a stand together here. Though, you know what? I can just play Disciple and torch this. I wonder if I should switch to or build a fun deck of some sort for the start of the season here, because though at the same time I just missed out on Masters last season, I kind of want to lock in Masters for Constructed if I can. Alright, they're going to scoop it up. Because it shouldn't be too hard if I just, like, now that I have a good deck, if I just start off the season grinding, then I should hit it pretty early here. That's probably all the packs that we're going to get out of this stream. You know what? Let's open up these packs and then take a look at the collection a little bit. See if we can build anything sweet. I do have probably a playset of Paladin Oath books at this point. Ooh, Impending Doom. That probably means I've got a playset of that. At some point, I'm going to have to craft the Argenport Instigators. I've got a playset of Clockroaches. Stronghold's Visage. I've seen that in one of the weapon decks, I think. I think they were playing Akaria Gold. Champion of Wisdom. Pretty sure I already have those guys. Also getting a lot of Shift Stone here. Argenport Instigator. Hey, that's my first one. Check out the new cards here. Got some Trail of Stories. Yeah, third Oath Book. First Instigator. And I got my fourth Dawnwalker today as well. And my second Trail of Stories. What else? These are all just animated cards. Oh, I guess I rare drafted my fourth Umbran Reaper. And I just opened my first Champion of Wisdom. I thought I had 4 Champion of Chaos already, but maybe with the... I'm not sure. Not sure. We'll finish opening up these packs here, though, halfway through. And already got an Instigator. Also Callus I had 0 of. And I think that's a pretty sweet card, too. Another Stronghold Visage. Not bad. A third of the way through our packs and got some pretty sweet ones. Marcin's Disciple's a sweet one. I've got more than 2 playsets of that one now, though. Obelisk is another card that I'm looking for. And the card that gives your team +1/+1 and Aegis. Alright, Volt. I always get Volts. I don't get the Obelisks. I think I've got like 8 Volts at this point. Grim Stranger. Man, not too exciting. What else do we get? Huru Envoy. Okay. Not too shabby. If we take a look at the collection, yeah, we saw the new cards there. I just want to clear them off. Oh, I got a foil Combray Healer, or animated Combray Healer as well. Oh, and I didn't realize that Wisp was animated. Thought that was just a normal Wisp. Cool. This is the easiest way to see what animated cards you pick up, because otherwise it's a little bit tough too. We've got 28,000, almost 29,000 shift here. So can pretty much make another tier 1 deck. I don't know if I want to make a bad deck. Let's take a look at some of my legends and see if we have any cool ones, though. There is one thing, like, I haven't really made any decks around the Jack's Bounty cards yet, either. And that might be worth doing at some point. I have 4 Rollants. Rollant was my, if you missed the beginning of the stream, he was my draft reward for Masters in Draft. I also have 4 Ancient Terrazon. If there was bigger, like right now Lightning Storm is the biggest AoE damage, but this card could be decent if, like, what if you just get a card, like there's another Wrath in blue in the future that's like 8 mana and it's just like 8 mana, deal 10 to all creatures. Ancient Terrazon would survive. Oh, it's also just invulnerable to combat damage, too. That's pretty sweet. What does this do? Play 4 random 1-cost units. That card's been pretty cool. I've seen that before. This card apparently got nerfed. I don't know exactly how, but the card still seems super fine to me. Oh, it's an Entomb. Did it used to be a battle cry? If you know what Soulfire Drake used to be, let me know in the comments or in the chat here, because I'm not super sure. Talir is a sweet one, I think, to go in some of the big Combray decks. It's one of the sweeter cards from, like, one of the sweeter 8-drops, whatever these are called. Treasury Gate, the first time you play a relic weapon each turn, play a Minotaur, okay, with the same stats. That's pretty interesting. This guy we played against, he's kind of cool. A reasonable infiltrate monster. I haven't seen this card see any play. It's a little bit expensive, but it's also a kill spell. I think the second ability is pretty irrelevant. When an enemy unit dies, it goes into your void, but Flying Ambush is pretty big. It's just such an expensive card. I've got 3 of these. I don't think this card's that great. One of these. I think both of these cards are fine in an aggressive Rakano deck as kind of the top of your curve. Jack rebukes something and it's a 6/4 quick draw. He's fine. Well, I have 2 Knight Chancellor Seraphs. I don't remember crafting these. I guess I must have, right? I don't know. Does anybody remember? Did I craft those? No, I must have opened them. Yeah, I definitely opened them if they're not in, like, my most recent Combray deck. When the heck did that happen? When did I get 2 Knight Champion Seraphs? That's pretty sweet. Was I just, like, opening packs with my eyes closed one day? Well, I'm glad I did this. I just had no idea that I owned 2 of this card. That's pretty sweet. This card is also pretty cool in a big Combray deck. Crown of Possibilities is a fun build around. I like my scrap tanks. This card's always fun. Shimmer Pack is decent. This card's really not that great. Alright, let's play like 3 more games here, see if we can get gold, or not gold, silver 2. See if we can get silver 2 and then end the stream. Might only have time for 2 more games. I'm going to wrap it up at about 6 o'clock here. Alright, against the Mulligan, will we have to? No, we will not. We'll be able to keep, and a pretty solid keep on the play. We don't have the double time yet for Temple Scribe, but this will give us our second time mana, so this will be able to go ahead and grab a Justice mana. So our mana's great, and we've got 4 mana. And actually a decent curve. You know what? It's a little bit tricky to do this without an obelisk or a +1/+1 effect of any sort in your hand. But I'm going to go ahead and run out the Grenadin Drone. Also, I'll play Temple Scribe next turn if I draw a Time Sigil. Well, there's our +1/+1.
Focus, child.
So turn 3 Acolyte, turn 4 Owl, turn 5 Monitor. Not sure if my opponent is a control deck or a infiltrate deck. Looks like a control deck with that play.
Safe travels, friend.
I'm going to try to be a little bit aggressive here, though. Obviously, my opponent can play the Shadow card and give all of our units -4/-4. They can also play Lightning Storm. That would be a little bit scary. But a Flail, that's fine. That's a 1-for-1 trade. That makes me feel pretty good about just running an Owl out there. They can trade another Flail for this Owl, potentially. If they have an untapped land. Which they played a depleted Sigil last turn. It was a depleted Seat of Chaos, so they might just be sitting on Seats and Banners, or they could draw a Sigil. Nope, depleted Seat into Feln Bloodcaster. Well, I can double torch that. I don't think I'm going to do that just yet. I'm going to play Arcana Monitor as a 5/5. It'll protect my Owl and my Monitor from shadows. And next turn, Lightning Bolt should be lethal. They also need to have another non-depleted land. Alright, Statuary Maiden's got Death Touch. If I attack all out, my opponent can block a 2/2 and a 5/5. They'll maybe take 1 trample damage. Probably they will, actually. But more importantly, they'll take 8 damage and die to Double Torch. Sometimes you just have a really aggressive hand. Can also just double torch this. That actually isn't really even any better. We'll just double torch them. Easy enough. The double torch on the 2/5 was kind of cool, but didn't really matter. That was a pretty fast game. Sometimes, like, if you just have the ability to curve out with this deck, sometimes you go for it. I noticed last night I was winning a lot of games where I just played an Owl on turn 4. And, because, like, you look at the card, a 4-mana, 4/4 flyer. That is already pretty decent. I mean, nobody's going to play Huru Fledgling, but it's already better than Huru Fledgling. Let's redraw. I can see that hand not panning out. We're on the play, so we kind of just want sigil heavier hands. This hand has no... This hand's even worse. It's got nothing, no way to play our Volts. Alright, this hand's pretty terrible. We're going for the long game this one. Last game was an aggressive one. This time, we're going for the super long game.
It's written right here.
It's written right here. Amber Acolyte's a great draw. If we can draw another time mana, or sorry, a first time mana, we will be able to draw a second time mana with Amber Acolyte.
I bring you aid.
It's not great for us. We have aids now that our opponent brought us.
I bring you aid.
Alright, they're going all out. I can't play to Lear's favor either. Blarg. Okay.
I also can't chump block these overwhelm creatures. Whatever. Main reason I'm playing Assembly Line here, we can stave off one of the damage from Temple Scribe, and when I'm eventually able to play an Amber Acolyte, I'll be able to triple block one of these Chancellors. Then I'll be able to silence the other Chancellor, and maybe that gives us a Chancellor here. But not holding out too much hope. That's really not great. Well, if we draw a Time Mana, we can also play an Obelisk, too. Our life total is just so low is the problem. I think they're going to pump this. Yeah, they did. They hit us for 7. We go down to 7. Next turn, if we block a Chancellor, we will take 6. Nope, just can't play anything. Alright, we're double blocking Combray Healer? I don't fucking know. I think we double block Combray Healer. Means we take 7. Never mind. We've got a chump block Combray Healer and chump block Temple Scribe. That's the play. That's what keeps us alive. Good game. Ah, jeez. It would have been sick if I harsh ruled him there. Like, he was definitely playing into my harsh rule. But definitely too little, too late. Also, not even playing harsh rule in this deck. You can throw the deck list up on screen. I haven't showed it off in a while. I've made some like minor changes to it, but basically 3 Grenadin Drone, 2 Torch, and 1 Combray Healer is kind of like the flex spots. Also 1 Cloud of Ash, Desert Marshal, Talir's favorite Temple Scribe, Vanquish, Amber Acolyte, Assembly Line. All of those are pretty stock. I am playing 2... Oh no, I guess I'm playing 1 Arcana Monitor and I guess 1 Cloud of Ash over 1 Stand Together and Zenin Obelisk because I only have 3 of each of those cards. Also 4 Sandstorm Titan, 4 Disciple. I think I would cut... If I can get another Stand Together or Zenin Obelisk, I'm going to cut this Monitor. Right? I don't have another one? No, I don't. Yeah. I also added in a 3rd Fire Sigil, so I am playing a 60 or a 76 card deck here. But yeah, if I could get another Stand Together or Obelisk, I think I'd cut the Monitor for it. Obviously, you saw Monitor be good earlier in that other game. And then if I could get another one, I think I would potentially cut a Volt for an Obelisk. You get Volt flooded sometimes, and you never care about getting Obelisk flooded. You definitely want 1 Cloud of Ash in the deck. I like the early game Grenadin Drones and Torches against aggro. I think they play a pretty important role in the deck. And I like the Combray Healer as well, also to just have something against aggro. And it's a good mid-rangey card too, blocks a lot of stuff. As a 2/5 that gains you 3. Deck has a lot of 4-drops, for sure. But it's pretty sweet. It's a lot of fun too. There's a lot of interesting lines where you're trying to maximize your curve, but also just maximize your ability to draw cards off Fold of the Praxis here.
Focus, child.
It's pretty bad. Our opponent has a Grenadin Drone, and we don't have any early ways to deal with that. I'll be able to play Zenin Obelisk, which will stop it a little bit, but at that point we'll have taken 6 damage, and my opponent will have other threats on the board as well. So I'd really like to draw Assembly Line here.
Die with honor.
Temple Scribe is great.
It's written right here.
And another Temple Scribe is pretty good too. Temple Scribe already trades for Oni Ronin, so we might see like a pre-combat Torch. Inspire's pretty big. My opponent's going to have a big monster in the deck here. Trade-off, that's as good as we're getting. But now I can just play a Zenin Obelisk That kind of stops a little bit of what my opponent's doing here. Yeah, I think it's our best play. It's the most mana efficient. We could also just play Disciple. Maybe that's better. But if we play Obelisk this turn, we can play Disciple next turn. We might also need to use Disciple to make a Death Toucher. So this will give us a little bit more information when that rolls around. Alright. They have a Torch, so we would have got a little bit punished for playing the Disciple. Need to draw a Vanquish here, too. That's a pretty big monster. Okay. Let's play Disciple. Get a Sandcrawler. And now we've got a 3-3 for their 4-3. And a 4-4 for their 2-1. Depleted Monument. That means they probably have another one in the deck. Oh no, they're just going to make a 6-5. Alright. I'll trade with the 6-5. I'm not sure how else I'm supposed to play around this card, to be honest. Can make another 6-5 here. So next turn I'd love to draw cards off Vault of the Praxis. Let's see if we can hit a Vanquish. No, but a Sandy T ain't bad. (6-5). So right now I can double block this. So I already have an answer. Let's play Vault. We want to go next turn, Assembly Line, land drop.
Masterpiece.
My opponent's got a pretty sweet strategy they're employing here. Hopefully no Bolterino. Looks like they've got it. Finest Hour. We now have a bunch of chump blockers, though, with Assembly Line. And Vanquish? Or Silence Dude? Not yet. Next turn we've got 2 Owls. So again, we're doing something. If my opponent exhausts here, well, if they just go for it. Oh, interesting. They're also going to attack with this guy. I kind of would like to take him down. Let's just go like this and take 6. Pretty much what this means, my opponent wants to play another monster here. Oh no, they just have a Torch. But they are going to play another monster here. A Pyro Knight that has not yet been activated. Okay. We got a tricky game for us here. Praxis Banner. Let's play some 6/6s. Let's draw a card. What else can we do? Another Great Parliament. Alright, let's run out Sandy T then. Just trying to trade with as many things as possible. My opponent can either ultimate or they can ultimate this guy. But it's not even an ultimate because you get to do it as many times as you want. Where did that go? They put it on this. Okay. Let's draw 2 more cards. Try to find a Vanquish and a Silence. The interesting thing, too, here is what's 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7? That's 28. So all we really have to do is kill off our Sandstorm Titan, and we can attack with Lethal Owls. I don't know when our opponent is going to let us make this play. And we also can't just aggressively attack with Sandy into stuff.
Masterpiece.
Alright, where's the armor going? On the Trampler? But they're still not using it. Alright. Let's hold out here. Grenadin Drone is a great draw. It'll let us keep drawing cards. Time Sigil's a mediocre draw. If we attack with everything, our opponent goes block. They probably just take it. My life total's too low to attack with everything. Now they can ultimate this, which ultimate is actually just... Alright, that's going to kill Sandy T.
which is actually what I want. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. They're going to make this bigger. No, I have to stand together here, right? Oh, no, because I can block with my owls. 1, 2, 3. What's 9? 18. 18 minus 5. Yeah, okay, we let it die. Because I can triple block this and I won't die, and then we can single block everything else. So we're doing okay. We go stand together. Go block, 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 block. Good game, my friend. And we hit our opponent for 28 on our turn. That was a pretty sweet game. That was pretty crazy. I didn't think I was going to be able to pull that one out. My opponent was doing some pretty gnarly stuff, and we never drew a removal spell. It was like kind of risky to play the Sandstorm Titan. Like I knew it was going to turn off my owls when I played it, but I think I just needed the meat on the board at that time because I didn't want to. If my opponent decided that they wanted to start attacking, I didn't want to lose my owls. And with how big my opponent's monsters were, I was pretty sure I could lose that Sandstorm Titan anytime I wanted to. Oh, I didn't realize I actually already have enough gold. I guess because that draft was 6-0, I already have enough gold to draft again. So that's sweet. We will be drafting. I don't stream on Tuesdays, but I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, typically. You can follow me to be notified when I go live as well, if you're not following already. I haven't checked to see who's here, but I recognize a few of the names. I don't recognize all of them. Yeah, Pilipollen, obviously. Recognize you from Mulligan. I remember playing against you because I recognize your name, but I can't say I remember exactly how the game turned out. You may have been the person. Did we play in draft and I drew only Justice Mana against you? Or was it in oh, you were the Felnscar deck that I ran over with the I played the turn 1 Grenadin drone against you and just curved out. Yeah, I remember that. Well, good non-game to you as well. Gotcha. Yeah, it was just that was the game I had the double lightning bolt. Yeah, that I just had a super aggressive draw out that game. I can give my opponent an owl if they want to do it here. They're just going to decide to take some damage. I guess this is a Callus deck. Callus is pretty insane with Slumbering Stones. Huh. Well, I don't know what the hell's going on then. At some point, my opponent just starts chump blocking here to take less damage. I will have Lightning Bolt to finish off an actual owl. Let's make a 3/3. Oops. Should have played the Combray Banner. Next turn, I will probably not play anything because the following turn I can go Amber Acolyte into Sandstorm. 3 mana now, so we'll see what my opponent can cast off of that. Oh yeah, but as I was saying, if you are not yet followed along, feel free to hit that follow button for me. I could actually play a Sandstorm Titan here, now that I've drawn another. Alright, my opponent kind of sees what's about to go down here. Sandstorm is probably just combust fodder. But that's fine. My hand's good enough here. And it's like, you know, Fuck your little vampire bats. Or gargoyles, I guess they are, right? Yes, they are. Oh, torrent of spiders. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, too. Trade, trade, trade. Cool. Yeah, I guess Torrent of Spiders is quite fantastic in this deck. Would love to draw a pump spell. Alright, not yet. Sandstorm Titan's a little bit weak. Now my opponent can make, like, 3 spiders if they want to. Yeah, 3 spiders. That's cool. You can check the one in the graveyard to just quickly count how many spiders they'll be able to make. And Grenadin drones for my opponent. So if we lightning bolt this, we'll be able to start attacking with our 1/1s. However, we might just draw a Zen and Obelisk, and it's not like I'm going to need that mana anyways, because my play currently is Acolyte into Sandstorm Titan. And I'll have another mana off the Acolyte. Yeah, there's a Zen and Obelisk, so glad I did not use my Lightning Bolt.
Safe travels, friend.
Let's turn it on even more. This way my opponent can't just trade off the Gargoyle for it. They have to actually make like a double block. And I think I torch here. I think that's good enough value. Nah. What I'm thinking here is the owls are almost lethal, but not quite lethal, in a way that I might need this torch to be the final point of damage on my opponent. My opponent's only got 3 lands, so there's not much they can do. I think I want to just hang on to my Sandstorm Titans. Next turn, play owls. I'll get a pair of 6/6s, which is quite fantastic. Oh, my opponent with no plays here. That's not great. Alrighty. Volt, owls. I'll play my land. And, I mean, there's nothing my opponent can do here. I draw 2 cards. Don't get a land, actually, but I have 2 lethal owls, and these are both lethal in accordance with my torch here. Yeah, there's the Callus. And there's my opponent attacking an owl. Good game, my friend. Yeah, sweet deck. I guess they just didn't have the lands. I don't know. They needed more spiders. Needed more lands. Needed a little bit more of everything. Devours. I don't know what they needed. Looks like they needed a lot more. There's like some combo elements to the deck, so there's some interesting parts. This is going to be the last game of the stream here. Oh, this is a pretty bad hand for the last game, eh? Do I want to get mana screwed in the last game? I really don't want to. We had 2 draws to try to hit, but this hand's a lot safer, so I'm happy I did. Happy I did what I did. Volt seems pretty sweet. I think I might just be looking at a turn 4 Volt with nothing before that. We'll see what my opponent does here. Because if I hit like a Silence guy or something, alright. Yeah, let's just play a turn 4 Volt. I'm on the play. I can afford to be a little bit silly here. And what do they got? Dawnwalkers. Okay. So I'd love to draw a Silence guy to go along with this Amber Acolyte on turn 6. Though we could do it on turn 2 here also. Or turn 5. What else you got for us?
Probably a Disciple or a Vault or something else. Copper Conduit. No, that's a pretty big monster. Alright, let's dump this assembly line on the board, see what we can draw. I'm actually feeling like I'm pretty far behind here. But we play this Obelisk, and all of a sudden we're in a good spot. I really don't want to trade off with this Dawnwalker. I'll have to in a second, but I'm going to try to silence it before we do. There we go. So now I can go Silence plus Amber Acolyte. That'll draw us our card for the turn, so
You can escape.
I'm going to do that before we play the Obelisk here.
Safe travels, friend.
And we draw a Talir's Favor, which is fine. Now my opponent doesn't have any great attacks. If they have a Crystallize, or whatever that card's called, though, we are super dead. Alright, so chump block here. And I think I will just double block this guy. I'm going to take 4 damage this turn. That's fine. This turn I can go Obelisk Stand Together if I want to. I'd love to go Obelisk Assembly Line. Is that too much to ask? Alright, well that's actually great. Now my cards that block Cerso turn into 2/2 pigs, which means all I have to do is double block it, and there'll be 2/2 pigs that are getting +1/+1 from my Obelisk. Sometimes you can turn Cerso back on himself. Permafrost, I'm going to have to stand together. That means the whole pig thing doesn't matter too much, but I just can't afford to take a hit. All of my opponent's cards have Overwhelm. Marcin's Disciple. They all have Overwhelm, though, like I said. Alright, I'm going to go for Marcin's Disciple and just make a 5/5.
Which would you like?
I think that's a little bit safer. It's really close, though. I think we can hold here. Now we just need to draw another Stand Together before my opponent draws a Crystallize. Oh, Vanquish is great. Okay, let's Vanquish Cerso and play our other 2 cards.
Precious child.
I guess let's play our cards first. Sandy T. Up in the house. Can actually smack for 5 now for free. Yeah, this is free. Yep. You're going to give me the option. I'm going to go ahead and take out the 5/5 over the 2/3. Alright, and replacement False Prince. I'm fine on this board. I'm going to hang on to Temple Scribe for one more turn here, just to give us slightly better odds. I'd like to play it alongside, like, a Sandstorm Titan or an Arcanum Monitor. That's pretty insane, too. Alright, so let's go Temple Scribe, draw a card, just gives us a few more potential options. Play Arcanum Monitor. Now we are just trying to draw Cloud of Ash or some Owls, potentially. Well, let's look at our attacks here, too. We've got 2 insane blockers. I'm not going to attack with Sandstorm Titan, but I am going to send with my army of 5/5s here. And my opponent has to make some tough choices about blocking here again. They are going to go ahead and make trades. So now I'm feeling pretty confident on this board as well. Looks like this is a pretty good last game to end the stream on. I guess that block makes sense for my opponent because they shrink my Monitor too. But I always feel weird calling this card Monitor because, like, Minotaur, that's what I expect it to be. Alright, I was expecting a scouting party sooner or later here. But this scouting party isn't going to be too fantastic. My opponent already can't block my Sandstorm Titan or my Arcana Monitor. I just don't want to let them draw too many cards
But they can't block this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I just play this pre-combat, they can't block either of my fatty boom booms. Stand together means I win the game. So how do we want to play this? Boom, boom, boom. That'll leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. Sorry, 5 blockers. Sure. I think we're going to see a chump block on Sandstorm Titan. We're also going to see a quadruple block on this. So Stand Together is a complete blowout. It now means I'm protected from a crystallization. I eat all of their monsters with my Grenadin, and my Grenadin does not even die. We leave my opponent with an Initiative of the Sands and 10 life points and an Exploded Hero Portrait. So that is going to be the stream. That almost puts us into Silver 2. Just a little bit of juice away from that. And we should be able to get that tomorrow. Let's see, do we get one final pack to open up? We do not. We get a Mithril Mace, though, and about 7,500 gold to draft with on Wednesday. So if you'd like to follow me to be notified when I go live, I would very much appreciate that. Also, check out my YouTube channel where I post full VODs of my streams, as well as highlights and other things like that. You know, I feel like I should write that down because I always stumble over that and have no idea what I'm saying, but maybe it's cute, maybe it's quirky, maybe that's why you keep coming back. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you had fun, and I will see you again. Peace.